Welcome to the FCS Playoffs on ESPN. Late night out west on the outskirts of Sacramento in Davis, California. Round 2 action culminates tonight. The number 9 overall seed, Rhode Island Rams, champions of the CAA, take on the 8th seed, UC Davis Aggies, an at-large from the Big Sky. Oh, an absolute stunner earlier today in the FCS playoffs. Illinois State as a 3-touchdown underdog upends the defending national champ and number 1 overall seed, North Dakota State. So now all of a sudden, the winner of this game tonight hosts in the FCS quarterfinal round next weekend. Hi, everybody. It is great to have you with us. Alongside Craig Hobbert, I'm Chris Sylvester. And while UC Davis and Rhode Island have never met on the football field, they sit on opposite coasts of the country. These are two teams that actually have a lot in common. 2 outstanding defenses, 2 high-powered offenses, and 2 absolute stars at the quarterback position.
Yeah, playoff football led by 2 of the best players at their position in all of the FCS. At Rhode Island, their quarterback was a high 3-star 2022 class, signed with Virginia Tech. Since arriving at Rhode Island, though, Devin Farrell has really found his stride. This season, throwing for over 3,400 yards, does a great job of distributing the football to his playmakers. 5 different Rams have at least 25 catches on the year, but where he is most dangerous when he gets outside the pocket, his ability to create key plays alive really, truly makes it the catalyst of that offense.
Yeah, for UC Davis, Caden Pinnock, he was the unanimous freshman of the year in the Big Sky.
Yeah, he is electrifying, a true sport athlete at the college level. He also plays outfield for the baseball team. He's got a quick release, can beat the rush that way. He is also very dynamic on the move. The key here, though, Chris, is on the year he has 8 interceptions. 6 have come in the last 4 games. Can he limit the mistakes and magnify the big play opportunities?
The near 3,500 yards for Devin Farrell, second most passing yards among FCS quarterbacks. Caden Pinnock, 71% of his passes have been caught by his targets. That's good for 8th in the football championship subdivision. So a bi-coastal bout, 3,000-mile trip west for the Rhode Island Rams, who won 7 straight games following an upset loss against Brown from the Ivy League back in early October. Playing their best football of the season into the playoffs, and for UC Davis, their playoff debut tonight after a round 1 bye as Zach Jones signals fair catch, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Rhode Island winning the coin toss and deferring to the second half. So the aforementioned Caden Pinnock, 2 sports stars, a center fielder on the baseball team, and he only grew up about 30 minutes from here in Loomis, went to Del Oro High School, redshirted last year behind the record-setting quarterback Miles Hastings, and he has excelled with his opportunity as QB1. We do have a marker down before we run a play here tonight.
Offside, kicking team number 35. 5-yard penalty from the touchback spot, first down.
We'll chalk that up to the time zone difference.
Yeah, it's a little after 10 o'clock back east for Rhode Island. But you made a good point earlier when we were talking. Most of these kids stay up late anyway. Yeah. This shouldn't bother them too much. Jordan Fisher, honorable mention All Big Sky, the feature back for UC Davis. 2nd straight season as a top 8 seed in these FCS playoffs. It's Fisher submarining ahead to the 35. 5-yard run on the first play from scrimmage. UC Davis, this is a balanced offense.
Yeah, for both of these offenses tonight, we will just not talk about 2 talented quarterbacks, but each quarterback is also flanked by playmakers. And for UC Davis, they have a running back and a receiver both on the cusp of going over 1,000 yards on the year.
Only 1 loss at home for Davis in the regular season as Fisher is spun down after a 1-yard run. Moses Muse, redshirt sophomore linebacker, the team leader in tackles, over 100 on the year, puts UC Davis in 3rd down early.
Yeah, great job there by Muse, because that UC Davis interior offensive line got good push.
Pinnock off the play fake. He'll look to run, picks up the first down, and slides near midfield. 13 yards for Caden Pinnock on his first rushing attempt tonight.
The Rams bring 4. The middle opens up, but it's a nice job by the young quarterback, the freshman, of being decisive.
Didn't take off and run all that much in the regular season finale 2 weeks ago against rival Sacramento State. 7 more yards for Jordan Fisher. Already his 3rd carry through 4 plays on this opening possession. And now he motions out of the backfield, an empty set, pressure coming. Pinnock lofting, and it's incomplete. Looking for Stacy Dobbins, the sophomore speedster on the outside.
Yinde Johnson doing a nice job just staying in coverage, running stride for stride, but on the ground, we're very early, just the first couple of snaps, but that UC Davis offensive line is kind of winning the line of scrimmage.
Rhode Island, the 17th best scoring defense in the FCS. They only allow 19 points per game and only surrendered that total last week in a round 1 victory at home against the NEC champ Central Connecticut State. On 3rd down, Pinnock on the move, and he's on target. It's Stacy Dobbins. Back-to-back plays they run for the sophomore Dobbins, who makes his 46th grab of the season and extends the drive for Davis.
They get pressure off the edge from their talented pass rusher, Pena, number 8. They're able to push him upfield. Pinnock does a nice job of stepping up, delivering.
Pinnock with a sidearm toss. This time it's Ian Simpson, first team all Big Sky tight end. Only 2 yards on his first catch. Another stop for Moses Muse.
And we're seeing here, Chris, that when they get those completions, they're working with some tempo here, the Aggies.
2nd down. Pinnock on the roll, sets his feet. Another check down to Simpson, who picks up a first down for UC Davis. 10 more yards for the Aggies.
Redshirt freshman, good patience. There, UC Davis brought all the action to its right, booting him to the left. Rhode Island did a good job of covering it. He was able to find Simpson over the middle. And for the Aggies, they've got 2 really good tight ends. Crucial parts of this offense, one of those being number 0.
Well, they lost their opening day tight end, Winston Williams, who was an All-American last year, to a season-ending injury back in September. Pressure comes, and it's batted down. The second incompletion from Caden Pinnock on this opening possession. And Case Menkins, junior defensive lineman, with the pass breakup.
Yeah, the jet sweep fake, trying to set up that screen. Dante Fisher, big number big number 56, getting his paws up, taking that play away. Big man who's kind of worked a little bit on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
First carry for Kai Asia, and he doesn't have much against the inside of the Rhode Island defense. Maybe 2 yards on the junior Kai Asia's first carry, and it puts UC Davis in 3rd and long for the first time on this opening possession. First down line at the 12. Pinnock delivers, and it's deflected again. Looking for Samuel Batu, the all-conference receiver. So Rhode Island breaking up a pair of Pinnock pass attempts, and they'll force Davis into a field goal attempt here.
Yeah, Mitchell Gardner, number 44, you're going to see him drop back in coverage, do a great job of skying, going up, getting a piece of the football there. Nice job there, as you mentioned. 2 plays defensively for the Rams in terms of just getting in passing lanes and slowing down a really outstanding opening drive by UC Davis, forcing this field goal opportunity.
38-yard attempt for Hunter Ridley, the all-conference kicker, and he's on target to lift the lid off the scoring tonight in Davis. UC Davis gets 3. Rhode Island will have it for the first time on the other side. Plow was a quarterback at UC Davis in the early 2000s. Got quickly into coaching after his playing career came to an end. Second year at his alma mater. Second year he's led UC Davis to a top 8 national seed in these FCS playoffs. You see Shredville on the hat there. That is a Tim Plow term that he has used to describe Davis and his football program, and Jim Fleming on the other side. In his 12th season, previously the head coach at Sacred Heart. It was a slow build for Jim Fleming at Rhode Island. Only 7 wins his first 4 seasons. Only 1 losing season since then. And CAA champions for a first time in program history this year. UC Davis, 12 plays, 50 yards, settling for 3 points. And because the fair catch was signaled for, even on the bounce, this will come out to the 25 for Brendan Barrow and Rhode Island. Our first look at the Rams offense. 5th best passing offense in the FCS in the regular season. And they racked up almost 450 yards in their round 1 victory at home against the NEC champ Central Connecticut State last week.
Yeah, Devin Farrell, out of a prominent high school in Georgia, the greater Atlanta area, Milton High School, as I mentioned in the open, initially signed with Virginia Tech, but here at Rhode Island, he has really just kind of blossomed into not only just a playmaker. What jumps out to me on film is just how poised he is back there in the pocket. He's a calm, cool, collected operator, goes through his progressions.
Well, they don't give Rhode Island the football at the 25. Instead, they start at the 13, and some immediate pressure on Devin Farrell was trying to loft it to Antoine Littleton out of the backfield. And instead, it falls incomplete.
Well, it's like maybe some miscommunication talking to his receiver. It was actually good coverage. He had some initial time there. Where to go with the football. And I think for Davis, it's really about containing him, keeping him in the pocket, because when he gets outside the pocket, Farrell, that's really when he becomes his most dangerous.
It's a toss to Antoine Littleton Jr., and he's dropped immediately. Nothing doing on the former Maryland and Temple tailback's first touch. And Rhode Island in an uncomfortable spot here with 3rd and 10, just a couple plays into their first possession.
Yeah, not much going here for the big running back, but they're going to have to continue to feed him throughout the night. He's one of those running backs that kind of gets stronger as the game goes along, and I think that's going to be a key for the Rams throughout this 4 quarters is, can they establish the run? The Aggies have struggled at times at stopping the run.
Rhode Island, the 14th best 3rd down offense in the FCS. They've converted 47% of the time, and they'll take timeout here before a 3rd and 10.
Their first of the half, 30-second timeout.
So the CAA champion Rams trying to settle in. Late night start out west, their first ever game in program history in the state of California. They lost in the 2nd round of the FCS playoffs against Mercer last season. Devin Farrell was the starter most of last year, went down with the season-ending injury before the playoffs. And Rhode Island 7 straight wins following an upset loss against Brown from the Ivy League. Have a chance to join Villanova as the 2nd CAA team to punch its ticket to next weekend's quarterfinal round if they can get it done on the road here tonight.
And what you mentioned, it took time. There was a lot of patience by Jim Fleming to really build this program into what they've been able to accomplish. And now here, again, the 2nd round on the West Coast. Opportunity to potentially host if they can get out of here with the win next week.
3rd down and 10. Davis rushes 5. Farrell's on target. Greg Gaines wrapped up and spun down shy of the line to gain. Ty Richardson, senior corner, who UC Davis's staff tells us is the best corner on the team, made the stop for the Aggie defense. 6 yards on the play, and Rhode Island 3 and out on their first touch tonight.
Yeah, Davis brought pressure. Farrell knew it, quickly got rid of it, but the key there was Ty Richardson making that open field tackle, wrapping up, not allowing any yards after the catch, and forcing the punt. Now, special teams is going to be interesting to watch because I don't think either team, Chris, is overly thrilled with the way their special teams have operated throughout the year.
James Allen punting to Kalani Riddick from the 40. Riddick upended around the 45. All right, everything else has been filled in to the next round in these FCS playoffs. This is the final round 2 game on the docket tonight. The big shocker around the country, Illinois State, somehow, some way, coming back in the 4th quarter, knocking off the heavy favorite North Dakota State. Lehigh was also unbeaten prior to round 2 action today. Villanova, a touchdown win in a close game back east. Montana State and Montana, the brawl of the wild rivals, taking care of business and setting up 2nd round matchups with South Dakota and Stephen F. Austin, the Southland Conference champion, who beat the UAC champ Abilene Christian by a touchdown earlier today.
The Big Sky off to a good start here in the playoffs, and Davis has a chance to keep that going.
The Big Sky and Missouri Valley Conference usually put forth the most teams into the FCS playoffs, but the Big Sky only had 3 teams get in this year. All 3 were top 8 national seeds. And with a UC Davis win, all 3 would be in the quarterfinal round. Pressure on Pinnock. He spins away. Caden Pinnock to the sideline. He is fast on the gas pedal and turns out 24.
Only a freshman, but the Poise, they bring pressure, and then the spin to elude the pressure, get turned upfield.
Now Jordan Fisher bounces to the outside. Into the red zone in the blink of an eye for UC Davis. 20 for number 20. So this fast tempo offense giving Rhode Island some problems early in the game.
Yeah, doing it on the ground. The initial scramble there by Pinnock, and then getting Fisher to pass it to the edge. Back in the red zone.
Davis had to settle for 3 on the game's first possession. Eyeing a touchdown here. On a first down, it's Fisher, met immediately at the line of scrimmage, nothing doing. A.J. Pena, the CAA Defensive Player of the Year, wrapped him up.
Operating on the ground, getting it to Fisher. Good job pressing the line. You see him, and he is a smaller back, really known for his agility, but he is tough when you watch him on film, Chris. He really fights, runs behind his pads there, able to break through an arm tackle, keep that run alive, get to the outside.
Jordan Fisher, 23rd among FCS running backs at almost 6 yards a carry. On 2nd and long, Pinnock, incomplete. Trying to find Jordan Fisher over the middle, just couldn't hold on to the football. This would be a bend but not break possession for Rhode Island's defense if they can force the Aggies into another field goal attempt after 2 plays got UC Davis in the red zone with ease. Here comes the pressure. Tight pocket for Pinnock. Trying to scramble away. Throws on the run. It's intercepted. A takeaway for Rhode. Caden Pinnock picked off in the end zone. And Trey Lubin has his first interception of the season.
We had talked about it at the top. He can be electrifying. We saw a glimpse of there, the ability to escape. But 6 interceptions in the last 4 games here early on. Throws his 7th. Can Rhode Island make something of it? We'll find out.
this.
Second round FCS championship action as we settle in from UC Davis Health Stadium, about 15 miles west of Sacramento. Now, Rhode Island, their 17th takeaway defensively this season. Caden Penix had a lot of issues securing the football down the stretch of this year.
Yeah, and it's about trying to make a play there. He sees his receiver, Samuel Batu, in the end zone, but does not see number 44, Mitchell Gardner, who already had one pass breakup on the previous drive, sitting right in that lane.
9 turnovers for Caden Penix, the final 4 games of the regular season, and a 10th in 5 games, including that interception thrown on UC Davis's second possession tonight. Rhode Island starts from their own 3. Rams were 3 and out on their first possession. Antoine Littlejohn Jr. gets Rhode Island a little breathing room. This was an ESPN 4-star prospect coming out of high school, signed with Maryland, spent 3 seasons with the Terps. Last year at Temple, started going viral as an 8th grader for being a 270-pound running back, earned the nickname Baby Bus. They thought this guy was going to be the next Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, I went back, Littleton, way back in April of 2019. He came to a camp I worked. He was 286 pounds at that point.
Puts Rhode Island in 3rd down after a short run for Devin Farrell. Did run in 3 touchdowns during the regular season, but Rhode Island, the 5th best passing offense in the FCS. They average more than 360 passing yards a game.
And really kind of threw it around the yard against Central Connecticut State in their win a week ago, really in some gusty wind conditions. But again, I think tonight they've got to get that run game established overall.
Empty set for the redshirt junior Devin Farrell. Over the middle, it's on target. There's the All-American Marquise Buchanan. His 74th grab of the season, 198th of his career, and Rhode gets 17 on 3rd down.
Yeah, Buchanan, he's going to be there in motion. Why, he knows where to get. Savvy receiver, gets past the sticks, sits down, and Farrell puts it right on him. Get able to kind of get themselves out of the shadow of their own end zone.
See where he ranked among top offenses in the Coastal Athletic Association. Champions of the CAA for the first time in program history, as Littleton has his longest run of this opening quarter, ripping off 7 on 1st down. Jackson Severs made the stop on the big back.
Just a little bit of a power look there. And again, he's not one of these running backs that's going to consistently rip off 50, 60-yard runs. You mentioned they kind of were comparing him to the bus, right? Buses don't go 0 to 60. You got to kind of let him get going a little bit, start getting those wheels turning.
At a Greenbelt, Maryland, St. John's College High School, one of the top prep programs in that DMV area back east. And the big fella stuffed after a 1-yard run this time.
I will say this, I remember him coming out in high school. He was so big that I projected him as a 3 technique in college. And he got into college, and most importantly, when he got to Rhode Island, they said, we were talking to the coaches earlier this week, Chris, he was saying he's lost about 25 to 30 pounds since he's been there, and I think that has made him a much more effective running back and why he's having a 1,000-yard season.
He was limited last week, just 25 yards on 14 carries at home against Central Connecticut State. Farrell on 3rd and short. Trying to find Buchanan, it's knocked away and incomplete. Ty Richardson in coverage, and the Rams will punt.
Previous drive, we saw Ty Richardson shut it down with an outstanding open field tackle here. You can see Farrell going through his progressions. There's nothing there. He rolls out, and Richardson just running stride for stride. That is pretty. Gets that hand out in front. As you mentioned, they feel like he was their best corner here early on tonight. He is playing like it.
Second time Jimmy Allen The fifth-year senior from Australia has been summoned to punt. Kalani Riddick signaling fair catch and makes it. Back near the 20. 47-yard punt. 4:10 on the first quarter clock. Second round of the FCS playoffs. Round 2 of the FCS playoffs, and already a fair share of stunners at this level of college football. Number 1, North Dakota State, unbeaten through the regular season. Heck, if you ask most people around college football if they'd take the Bison or the field before today, most would say the Bison. Illinois State had other ideas. Villanova ends Lehigh's unbeaten season. South Dakota, how about 47-0? The Coyotes over Mercer, the SoCon champion, on the road earlier today. Winner of this game will host Illinois State next week. This is UC Davis' third possession. Caden Pinnock can't get back to the line of scrimmage as he's spun down for a loss. Case Mankins, A.J. Pena combined to bring down the Big Sky Freshman of the Year.
Pena, number 8, he's an outstanding pass rusher. The power looks like he probably should have gave it there. They had it blocked pretty well. The rest of that defense able to kind of swarm.
Third possession for UC Davis. Their last one
Let's go.
put him in the red zone before Caden Pinnock was intercepted by Trey Lubin. On second and long, Pinnock over the middle. It's caught. Tyler Hennessy. Just his 7th catch of the season, and the true freshman holds on up to the 46 to get 28.
They do a nice job with the protection, give him plenty of time in the pocket. And there, where Hennessy just on the skinny post.
It's Hennessy again. This time 5 yards from Caden Pinnock. So Tyler Hennessy, 6 catches through 11 regular season games. And a couple catches in this second round first quarter tonight. Kai Asia powering past contact and has the first down for UC Davis. And 6 yards for the junior from nearby Loomis, who is high school teammates with Caden Pinnock at Del Oro High School. Jordan Fisher returns to the backfield at the right hip of Caden Pinnock. Aggies have worked into Rhode Island territory all 3 possessions here in the first quarter. Ian Simpson, the tight end, in motion. There's Fisher. And tripped up after a short run on first down. Mitchell Garner, redshirt sophomore linebacker, limits him to 3 yards on the carry. This is a basketball on grass type of tempo we've seen early from UC Davis.
Yeah, but they have not been able to kind of get to the hoop. I'm trying to work on your now. I'm not a basketball guy, but they're not. Drive to the hoop, maybe is that better? Yeah. They have to finish. But you mentioned the Rams have kind of been bend, don't break at this point defensively.
Jordan Fisher motions out of the backfield. Pinnock, Batu tripped, and here come the markers. Ethan McCann-Carter tangled up with Samuel Batu, who's closing in on 1,000 receiving yards, and multiple markers came from the secondary.
Pass interference, defense number 35. The ball we place at the spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
Seeing it initially tangled up may be a little generous. he took him down. We think we had some, you see, just grab and just takes it. Yeah, we had some
UFC prelims.
Yeah, there. He must have been watching in the locker room. He got all hyped up.
Well, the penalty moves the football down to the 25. Davis has not had trouble moving it early against Rhode Island's defense. Pinnock bounces. Inside the 20, another red zone trip for the Aggies. Justin Carcel, Layson Hibbert finally brought down the quarterback after a 7-yard run.
Yeah, Pinnock showing some feet there. There was some penetration by that Rhode Island defense. He was able to sidestep it. Get a nice first down pickup. See here on second down, that's where they kind of take a shot here towards the end zone.
Second red zone trip. The last one didn't result in any points. Dobbins motions out of the backfield. It's Asia up the gut and moves the pile past the first down line to the 15. A heavy running from UC Davis early. That was not the case in the regular season finale against Sac State. Only ran for 100 yards in that game, but passed for over 300.
Yeah, we talked about Rhode Island being a team that needs to establish the run here early on. It's the Aggies.
Pinnock throws it low. Jordan Fisher couldn't keep it off the turf, and that's ruled an incomplete pass. Mitchell Garner, the linebacker, was converging in on Jordan Fisher, and it was probably better that he wound up not catching it. So it leaves us with 3 seconds left in this opening quarter.
Quarter where Davis has consistently been driving, unable though to get to the end zone.
Asia the tailback on a 2nd and 10. Pinnock, Lofton, end zone, incomplete. And threw it over the head of Samuel Batu, who was again covered by Ethan McCann-Carter. Well, they adjust the clock here. Put a little more time on it. We had 3 seconds earlier. We somehow gained a second.
There you go. And they found the matchup again. Previous one had drawn a penalty there. Batu was able to get behind him, just unable for Pinnock to be able to deliver that.
Empty set on 3rd down. Tried to set up the screen for Batu, and it never got there. So you talked about that bend, but don't break defense of Rhode Island. And as we head to the second, UC Davis will have to settle for another field goal attempt. 3-0 Aggies at the end of a quarter in Davis, California. Second round of the FCS Playoffs. Second quarter here from Davis. UC Davis, 141 yards of total offense on their 3 opening quarter possessions. Yet they only have 3 points to show for it, as Rhode Island has forced Davis into 4th down in the red zone again. And the Aggies have sent on the field goal unit to try and get some more points here to begin the second quarter.
Yeah, I feel that this drive, though, feels less bend, don't break for Rhode Island and more of Davis stalling with some just Pinnock being off target with some throws.
Hunter Ridley summoned for a second time, and this time off target. He missed it. Well, he really struggled down the stretch of the regular season. Missed 4 of his final 6 attempts. UC Davis's last 4 games, and he thought maybe that went through.
No, I mean, it's
Close.
You got to remember, though, if it's above the uprights and directly over, it's not in.
Now they're showing the replay on the big board here at UC Davis Health Stadium.
It could be, listen, they're standing right underneath, and it's usually, I mean, pretty on. That's a tough thing to see. And you can argue it all you want, but I think the key here for Davis is just to finish drives.
Even Tim Plow and Hunter Ridley disagreeing with the missed field goal call. So it remains 3-0. And a quick pitch over the middle doesn't go for much on Rhode Island's 3rd possession. Went to Brendan Barrow that time, a transfer from Stanford, who spent his last 4 years in this region. UC Davis, despite almost 150 total yards, their first 3 possessions, only 3 points. See if Rhode Island can take advantage. The Rams have picked up just 1 first down so far. On second down, Farrell sets his feet, throws over the middle, it's caught. Greg Gaines III, second team All-CAA, and a captain on this offense, has a 23-yard reception.
Yeah, Chris, it all starts with the protection. They give him plenty of time, and Gaines coming around the deep end, and a nice job going up, bringing that in. Gaines had some issues with drops in that win over Central Connecticut State. There, going up, bringing it in.
Antoine Littleton, not an easy customer to bring down, and surges to midfield. Kalani Riddick finally gets to him. 6 yards for the former ESPN 4-star prospect coming out of high school. Rhode Island made a run at Antoine Littleton Jr. last offseason in the portal. He opted to go to Temple. There was a coaching change in Philly, and they got him now.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Replacing Malik Grant, who set the single-season rushing record last year for Rhode Island. Here's Buchanan on the perimeter, breaks away, spins inside the 40, and it takes 3 or 4 Navy Davis jerseys to finally shove him out. Nate Ricina was there, but the tunnel screen goes for 11 on Marquise Buchanan's second first-half catch.
Yeah, get all that action going the other way, then quickly get it out to their star receiver, Buchanan. And see the move there, make one defender miss, and spun a little bit probably earlier than he needed to. Should have just kind of kept pushing upfield. Nonetheless, a nice run after the catch, move the chains.
First trip into plush territory for Rhode Island tonight. Littlejohn breaks away, high-stepping, makes a cut, and taken down at the 10. A 32-yard scamper for the young man they used to call Baby Bus.
Yeah, big back, getting that power. Both guards pulling around, doing a great job of creating a seam. A little bit of high step in there, getting the big man rolling downfield.
Now, Rhode Island has first and goal after the long run for Littleton. And he plows down to the 5 on this carry. Well, halfway home on the first and goal run for Antoine Littleton Jr. Over 1,000 yards in the regular season.
Previous play is under further review.
John Shea is our referee tonight. This is a Missouri Valley Football Conference crew. Winner of this game faces a Missouri Valley Football Conference member in Illinois State. The big shocker around college football today, and I think I'll take it that far. It was the biggest shock in college football today, any level, was North Dakota State, the overwhelming favorite here in the FCS, unbeaten in the regular season, the 1 seed, defending national champ, 10 national titles in the last 2 decades, losing at home to Illinois State earlier today. And that's opened the door for the winner of this game to host the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs next week. And this is what is under review. Potential fumble as Antoine Littleton Jr.'s left forearm hit the turf. Now, does that wrist count as a body part down?
That's part of the hand, but it's the forearm is down. He was down before that was ripped out.
Jaden Stanley, who's had a breakout season, a nickelback for UC Davis. Almost got
After
the
further
ball
review,
free.
the ruling on the field of a fumble recovered by the offense is upheld.
Ball kind of leads to the same spot, but it looked like his forearm had been down just as they were kind of ripping it out. But
Tim Plow and UC Davis, they have to feel like some points have been left out there.
one of the things too is Rhode Island, they've recovered most of them, but they put the ball on the ground 22 times coming into tonight. They're 23. I really think that Davis felt like with how many times that the Rams have put the ball on the ground, that there were opportunities for turnovers. One miss there. Now, unlike Davis, can the Rams finish this drive by punching it in?
Antoine Littleton has already carried it 6 times on the end around to the pylon, and marked out shy was Brendan Barrow. So just inside the 1 is where they'll spot it on a little trickery.
They're bringing Barrow around from the other side. A nice stiff on there. And then, yeah, that ball is out of bounds.
They made that surge to the near side pylon, but
Yeah, I mean,
it clearly stepped out.
he's out, the ball's out.
That's so right on the doorstep here for Rhode Island. It's Littleton, stonewalled by the UC Davis defense. Jaden Stanley and others for UC Davis will put Rhode Island in 4th down and goal to go.
That Davis defensive line reestablished a line of scrimmage because he runs right into his own tight end. Finer, there was nowhere to go. Here in the playoffs on the road, though, I love lineup, go for it.
On 4th and goal from the 2. Farrell powers his way. They gave it to Littleton, and he finds pay dirt for Rhode Island. The first touchdown out west, and the Rams have their first lead.
Here, he puts it right in there, and he kind of follows and leads, and then you're going to see immediately Farrell just kind of gets behind him, and Littleton was running with the football, but it was like they were both carrying it. He was right on his hip. He was going to make sure that he got in.
So after the field goal miss, Rhode Island marches down the field, and on 4th and goal, Antoine Littleton Jr. has the first touchdown of the night. Rhode in front. Second round of the FCS playoffs, the 8-9 matchup out west in Davis, California, about 15 miles west of downtown Sacramento. Rhode Island has never played a football game in its program history in the state of California. But the Rams, thanks to a 4th and goal 1-yard plunge from Antoine Littleton Jr., scoring the first touchdown of this game and giving the visiting Rams 3,000 miles away from home a first-half lead.
They're really kind of a 10-point swing there off of the missed field goal. And the Rams able to drive down and get it in.
Garth White handles the kickoffs and just snuck that one inside the pylon for a touchback. Well, the FCS playoffs continue with quarterfinal action next Friday and Saturday on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Plus. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Jim Fleming, the Rhode Island head coach, Tim Plow, the UC Davis head coach, met up at midfield as most head coaches do before games, especially when it's an uncommon matchup like this. And they both said to each other, hey, what the heck? The winner of this game gets another home game next week. And that's because Illinois State, is a 3-score underdog, went to the Fargo Dome and shocked the #1 overall seed North Dakota State earlier today. 4th possession for UC Davis. Deep ball. Batu makes the catch. Stumbling at the 20. Inside the 10. "66 yards to take the top off of the defense.
Quickly running downfield, getting that tempo.
Pinnock on first down. He tucks it. And down he goes at the 6. A whole lot of scrambling around for 3 yards for Caden Pinnock. Longest play for UC Davis to open this possession.
Yeah, the defender, number 19, Curtin, he just got flat-footed. Allowed Batu just to run right by him and create all that separation. Even a little bit kind of underthrown for Batu to have to kind of stop and come back to it, but nonetheless a big gain.
Davis would like to cash in this time. Empty trips each of the last 2 times in the red zone as Jordan Fisher is spun down at the 4-yard line. So it's 3rd and goal for UC Davis.
Well, I would think here, Chris, too, especially coming off the miss last time, and they're thinking 2 downs here to make sure they get this in. They can't keep getting into the red zone and just kicking field goals, especially on you saw in that last drive, 9 plays, 80 yards for the Rams.
Pinnock under center for 3rd and goal, with Ian Simpson, the tight end, zigzagging across the formation. Deep drop, floating, and touchdown. Scott Nixon. And UC Davis quickly answers back.
It's a nice job by Pinnock. They're looking to get this to Simpson. It's covered, it's not there. Pinnock comes back to the other side to be able to deliver that. Nice throw, and it's, I don't know if he was across. That was a really nice job. Quick close there by the linebacker.
This is coming up to the booth. This Missouri Valley Football Conference officiating crew taking an extended look at what on the field was ruled a 3-yard touchdown catch for Scott Nixon. Although this look here,
he is in the end zone. His foot is in the end zone. Does the ball break the plane, though? That is the question. Very first look, obviously live up here. Chris, I thought he had been just inside and looked there, but there's such a great job there by number 44, Mitchell Gardner, of closing on that. So you watch it again. It looks like at one point his foot crosses the goal line. I don't think the ball ever does.
But here's what's working in favor of UC Davis. The call on the field is a touchdown. So can you conclusively say the other way that it didn't cross the goal line?
For me, looking like that, I do not see that ball breaking the plane.
Mitchell Gardner, a sophomore linebacker for Rhode Island, doing all he can to keep Scott Nixon out of the end zone. It would be Nixon's first touchdown all season if it stands. He's a transfer from nearby Sacramento City College.
Now, if it is overruled, it'd be inches, but now becomes a fourth down as well.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld.
Well, John Shea didn't turn the microphone on, but everybody knows that touchdown signal here in Davis. And the call on the field upheld. Scott Nixon hauls it in. And the Aggies make quick work of their fourth possession, going 4 plays, 75 yards, their first touchdown tonight.
Yeah, getting the upheld. It was close. All really kind of stemmed from that big shot downfield to number 8, Samuel Batu.
Yeah, the 67-yard catch on the first play from scrimmage this possession. And 3 plays later, UC Davis lining up to go for 2. Direct snap to Ian Simpson, the tight end, and he scores. Well, it's late night out west. It's even later back east. And you know what's always open? 7-Eleven.
There you go.
7:55, first half. UC Davis back in front. Scott Nixon, not a bad time to score his first touchdown in an Aggie uniform. Ian Simpson adding 2. 11-7, Aggies in front.
On this.
Well, it's V Week, and we honor Jim Valvano by supporting the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Jackson Cloyd, who is an offensive analyst, was a linebacker at UC Davis the past 4 years. His stepdad, Dean Martinez, was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2021, underwent chemo and radiation treatment for about a year before having surgery. Unfortunately, his cancer returned in the spring of 22. It had spread to his brain, spine, and other parts of his body. Dean would make it to March of 23, and Jackson was able to leave spring practice to be home with his family, including his mother, Emily, and younger brothers, Aiden and Colton. Jackson's felt fully supported by UC Davis's coaches and staff when he missed time to be with his family and learn to be a strong role model for his younger brothers when they lost their father. Jackson Cloyd learning so much how to be a young leader going through that experience. Rhode Island, after UC Davis goes back in front. Bora Korting on the kick return, 22 yards out near the 30. You can join the fight, v.org/donate. And it's Fee Week at ESPN. This is a game-changing research that helps save lives. If you're able, give now at v.org/donate. 100% of donations go directly to cancer research. Rhode Island found pay dirt on their last possession. UC Davis quickly responded. And it's Antoine Littleton Jr. who had the touchdown on the Rams' last possession and gets about 5 yards on the first carry of this drive.
Especially off that last drive, I do like, again, Rhode Island, I think they've got to feed number 4, Littleton.
Only 82 rushing yards last week for Rhode Island in their victory at home against Central Connecticut State. They'll toss it. Littleton finds a seam. There he goes down the sideline. Baby bus. One man to beat. He's gone. Touchdown, Rhode. A 63-yard scamper.
He wasn't looking like a 3 technique there. He got rolling. That bus has got some booster jets in it. It all starts with some patience. He let that hole develop, and then he hits it, and the big man just gets rumbling. Would he get there? Yes. Take it all the way across. What a response from the Rams.
Antoine Littleton leaving the Davis defense in the dust. And all of a sudden, these offenses have kicked into gear. 2 plays, Rhode Island back in front.
Most teams fly out to California. The Rams decided to take the little bus all the way into the end zone. After Davis scores, Rhode Island responds. 8 versus 9, playoff football.
Never gonna fall, never gonna fall, never gonna fall down.
Antoine Littleton Jr. has already passed 100 rushing yards this first half and just broke free for a 63-yard touchdown run to quickly put Rhode Island back in front of UC Davis. Winner of this game will host the quarterfinal round of the FCS Playoffs. Illinois State, despite Tommy Rittenhouse, their quarterback, throwing 5 picks today in the Fargo Dome. They go for 2 in the final minute and hold off the top seed, previously unbeaten Bison. And Rhode Island, UC Davis, they both kind of expected, okay, we win this game, we jump on a plane to Fargo. Instead, the winner rewarded with a mid-December home game. Zach Jones on the kick return for the Aggies and crosses the 25-yard line, dropped around the 28.
It really shakes things up because you could argue in that side of the bracket, Tarleton State probably becomes the favorite, but you can make an argument the winner coming out of this game could be the favorite on that side of the bracket with the other two Big Sky teams on the opposite side.
Rhode Island, the CAA regular season champion, went unbeaten in league play. Only 2 losses to Western Michigan, who won the MAC championship earlier today. And a loss against Brown that their head coach, Jim Fleming, felt like held them out of being a top 8 seed. Pinnock zips it, Batu with a sliding catch. 18 yards on Samuel Batu's second reception.
Batu on the inside, just doing a nice job working in.
The ruling on the field is a catch. The previous play is under further review.
Samuel Batu convinced that he held on to the football, and if this stands with 85 yards tonight, that puts Batu north of 1,000 receiving yards on the season. Keep in mind, UC Davis opened their season back in week 0 at the Crampton Bowl against Mercer and had a game ruled a no contest after weather forced them into a lengthy delay midway through the 4th quarter, and both teams determined that they couldn't resume the game. So all the stats didn't count from that game, but Batu, if in fact this is upheld, would pass 1,000 receiving yards on the season.
He doesn't cleanly catch it, but he does secure it. Now, this is coming from a guy who is not getting along with the replay booth at all tonight.
0 for 2 tonight, is that right?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. But I think I'm 2 for 2, but let's not get into that. He does not cleanly catch it, but he does, before he goes to the ground, secure it against his chest. And as he hits...
Upheld.
All right, back on track.
Like you never left.
There you go. There we go. We could be friends again with the replay booth.
Chris Sylvester, Craig Hobbert, glad you're with us tonight. Round 2 of the FCS Playoffs. Everything else has gone final. And the second round of the FCS postseason. One remaining slot to be filled by the winner of this game between the CAA champ Rhode Island, Big Sky at-large UC Davis. Jordan Fisher gets a few yards on the first down carry. Case Menkins, whose father Logan was a 7-time Pro Bowl offensive guard in the NFL, makes another tackle for this Rhode defense. Case's father Logan grew up in California, played here in the Golden State at Fresno State. Spent the bulk of his career with the New England Patriots. Pinnock slips away past midfield. Angles out of bounds near the 30. 21 yards for Caden Pinnock.
Think about how electrifying Pinnock can be rolling out. Good decision there. Quickly as a defender upfield. Tucks it and runs.
Empty backfield, new set of downs. Pinnock buying more time, rolls out, floats it to the end zone. It's knocked away into triple coverage, trying to find Batu. And it was punched away at the last moment by Ian Day Johnson in his second year at Rhode Island after 3 years at Long Island.
This is kind of the give and take that you kind of have with Pinnock. He makes a nice run, decisive on the previous play here, scrambling, as you mentioned. There's a lot of Ram helmets right there in the middle. I understand that's your playmaker, you believe in him there, but lucky that that drive did not end in an interception as well. Able to get another snap here on this drive.
Empty backfield again for Davis. Rhode Island brings the pressure, and Pinnock is dumped. A loss of 6. Jordan Campbell came from the secondary to sack the quarterback.
Patrick conserve in there as well. As you mentioned, they're going to bring pressure from deck. You see number 5 coming around, getting that sack.
Pinnock in trouble again, and down he goes. All the way back near midfield. That takes Davis way out of field goal range. And Rohan Davey Second team All-CAA, has his 7th sack of the season.
And Davey, who was a high school teammate with Littleton, coming around the edge, doing a great job. We've seen how Pinnock is able to elude defenders on the move. There, Davey, number 26, does a great job kind of breaking down and bringing him down. Player who signed with NC State out of high school.
And the possession that appeared to be promising once again for UC Davis winds up in the first Aggie punt tonight. 36-yard punt that pins Rhode Island at their own 15. Hey, Sunday, we'll have the exclusive reveal of the final college football playoff top 25 rankings in a 3-hour special. Reese and the guys will break them down from top to bottom and unveil the matchups for the 12-team playoff. It all starts noon Eastern after Sunday NFL Countdown on ESPN and the ESPN app.
A lot of intrigue there. Miami, Notre Dame, Alabama.
Couple fan bases won't be too happy tomorrow.
No.
Here in the FCS, where they allow 24 teams in, the top 8 get a first-round bye. Rhode Island was victorious at home against Central Connecticut State last week. This is UC Davis's playoff debut. Antoine Littleton Jr. tried to sidestep his way, but back to the line of scrimmage for nothing after that 63-yard touchdown run capped Rhode Island's last possession.
As we wait for seeding and find out who's in tomorrow, you know, you were talking about it earlier. It's been a great season for Rhode Island, but a loss to a 5-5 Brown team, they really kind of feel prevented them from getting a bye and hosting in this second round, instead having to travel and play in the first round a week ago when they beat Central Connecticut State.
Davis brings pressure. Farrell trying to get away, uncorks it down the sideline, and it's knocked away by Ty Richardson. Trying to find Marquise Buchanan, who's tops in the FCS in receiving yards. And it never got there. Knocked away. Richardson's made a lot of plays in the secondary this first half for UC Davis. And just like that, it's 3rd and long for Rhode Island. Rams just 1 for 4 on 3rd down in this opening half. Bulk of the scoring on both sides have come in this second quarter. It was 3-0 Davis after the first 15 minutes. Empty backfield, 10 yards to get for Rhode Island on 3rd down. More pressure from Davis. Farrell tucks it, made the quick decision to run, and he's got the first down. Boy, he couldn't have afforded to wait any longer to make that decision to tuck, and winds up getting 15 when the Rams needed 10.
Yeah, Davis brings pressure. You meant the decisiveness, the poise. He knew immediately they were bringing pressure. He saw a seam to his left, tucked, ran, picked up that first down.
Jaden Stanley was the only guy that had a chance to get him on the Davis defense. And Devin Farrell, not really known for his running ability, was able to scamper away for 15. New set of downs, off the play fake, quick toss over the middle, dropped by Greg Gaines III, and that's been an issue for him this season.
Yeah, I was a little bit behind Gaines on that throw. Farrell kind of moving to his right, threw a little bit back across his body to the middle, and Gaines unable to bring it in. You're right, he's been a little bit inconsistent. But the reason, you know, Farrell, he's very mobile. He's very dangerous on the move. When you've got a 1,000-yard rusher in your backfield, they really haven't had to utilize him as a runner. But Davis knew tonight that they needed to try to contain Farrell there. They couldn't. With the pressure, he found a seam, was able to pick up big yards.
On 2nd down, off the play fake again. This time Farrell can't get away, and he's taken down for a loss. Jackson Severs, his 2nd sack of the season, and what a tremendous job he's done in place of the injured Rex and Porter Connors, a couple of all-conference twin brothers that play linebacker here at UC Davis.
Yeah, Severs doing a nice job kind of working back to him, getting upfield, not allowing him to escape.
And UC Davis.
Half, 30-second timeout, please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
So Davis still has 2 timeouts in the back pocket and the 2-minute timeout coming up. Rhode Island will get the football coming out of halftime. And the Rams have scored both of their touchdowns here in the second quarter. Their first ever game in the state of California. Jim Fleming, their head coach in his 12th season, said there were murmurs when he got the job back in 2014 that Rhode Island was going to drop football if they didn't turn things around. And it was no slow build for Fleming at Rhode. Just 7 combined wins his first 4 seasons, only under 500 once since then. And now trying to get back to a quarterfinal FCS game for the first time since the mid-'80s. Back when Rhode was in the old Yankee Conference. Champions of the CAA this year, backed up in 3rd and a long 11. Farrell scans, loads it up, has Buchanan in stride, and touchdown. 74 yards from Devin Farrell to Marquise Buchanan.
That all starts with that Rams offensive line. They give him plenty of time, Farrell. And you see Buchanan, who's just an absolute playmaker, work to the inside, and Farrell just drops it in on him. And Kalani Riddick just unable to keep up with him. That's a big change.
That's a lot of drip.
Yeah.
Iced
that was
out.
a big play.
Iced out on a cold night in Northern California as the point after try is blocked. And it's still a 2-score game here. Rhode Island turned aside on the point after try. Trent Carrad, a defensive tackle on special teams, got a hand on it.
We've talked about how special teams at times have not been great for each team. There, Davis able to get up and block that. And talking with head coach Jim Fleming, he was basically saying, listen, our offense and our defense is going to win this game. We need our special teams to kind of be neutralized. There, an opportunity, missed opportunity to tack another point on the board after that big play on 3rd down.
Boy, Marquise Buchanan slipped behind everybody. Mike Flanagan, who's in his first year calling plays at Rhode Island, says this is a young man that won't be denied. He's easily the best wide receiver in the country. The stats will back that up. You throw that on the highlight reel, you'd have a hard time arguing against it.
Well, too, that offensive line that is without its starting right tackle, Thomas Buxton, did a great job. There was a perfect pocket there for Farrell to operate, allowed Buchanan to kind of work downfield. Great team effort there for that big play. And their 1,000-yard rusher and their 1,000-yard receiver have both come up big in this first half.
Zach Jones from the end zone on the kick return for UC Davis. He's chopped down shy of the 20. Aggies have a couple timeouts and the 2-minute timeout with 2:14 left to play in the first half. 4 final scores from conference championship games at the FBS level. Tulane will represent the group of 5. There's a chance James Madison gets in if Duke can hold on in the ACC title game. 4th quarter, Blue Devils a 10-point lead over Virginia and Indiana, Ohio State. I think regardless of the outcome between the Hoosiers and Buckeyes, both will be top 4 seeds tomorrow. This is Jordan Fisher with a right side surge and up to about the 24-yard line. Should take us to the 2-minute timeout, even with the fast tempo of UC Davis. And we do reach the 2-minute timeout. Second round action in the FCS playoffs out west in California. Rhode Island trying to make it to a quarterfinal for the first time since 1985.
Introducing SportsCenter for you, personalized every single day. Now available on the ESPN app. Powered by your favorites.
Final 2 minutes of the opening half in Davis, California, where the second quarter has brought fireworks. 28 of the 31 points scored in the game, all here in the second quarter. Antoine Littleton Jr., 12 carries, 120 yards, couple touchdowns to lead Rhode Island this first half. Caden Pinnock in more trouble. This time he slips away. And out of bounds to stop the clock at the 33. So he zigzagged around. Winds up with 7 yards and a first down, UC Davis.
Yeah, he works to his left, and they look like they've got him. A great job by 97 of forcing him back inside. It's Pena, their stud defender, who was unable to bring him down, and then Pinnock able to escape the opposite side.
Davis with 2 timeouts. Minute 50 left. Rhode Island will get the football coming out of halftime. Pinnock with a toss to Stacy Dobbins, who slips away himself and has 11 to pick up the first down. Ian Day Johnson finally brought him down, a late marker. As Boyd never let go of Stacy Dobbins after that play was blown dead. It could be a costly penalty against Rhode Island. John Shea is our referee tonight.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, delay a game, defense number 53. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Moses Muse, Rhode Island's leading tackler.
Muse got down. Yeah. I mean, he keeps him down. I don't know if maybe he's trying to stay warm. Let him up.
Got to let go at some point.
Yeah.
Well, the penalty moves the ball 2 yards shy of midfield for UC Davis, trying to get closer before the break. Rams bring just 3. Pinnock finds a crease and falls forward. It's about 8 yards, right in front of the student section and that Rhode Island sideline, trying to encourage the Rams to keep on playing through the whistle again. On second down, Asia through the middle. First down, UC Davis to the 37 with 7 yards on the carry for the number 2 tailback. UC Davis had a couple others see a lot of time out of the backfield earlier this year. They lost Carter Vargas to a season-ending injury. They lost Mateo Perez, who is the veteran of the running back room. Pinnock did not release that one cleanly, trying to find Kai Asia out of the backfield, and it stops the clock with 65 seconds left in the half.
I think there was an opportunity there. Davis has kind of been really navigating this drive with his legs. I think there was a chance there for him to tuck and run for more positive yards off target on that throw.
Tim Plow in his second season at his alma mater, UC Davis, trying to get the Aggies to a second straight quarterfinal. They lost in the quarterfinal round at South Dakota last season. They set up the screen. Dobbins unable to hold on. It's incomplete. So Stacy Dobbins, who had a catch earlier in the possession, couldn't hold on that time. Case Menkins, another play for Rhodey's defense.
See what happens here now. It's starting to have that feel.
Please reset the game clock to 1:02, and it'll start on the snap.
Of so much of what we've seen from Davis overall in the first half of move, tempo, and then all of a sudden an incomplete pass or two, and it drives stalls. Can they reignite it here on third down?
Pinnock on third down. Markers come out as the pass is caught by Zach Jones for a short gain.
Looks like they got the Rams to jump. Some movement on that left side.
Offside, defense number 97. 5-yard penalty, third down. The game clock will start on the snap.
We got Menkins for the offside penalty, the 4th on Rhode Island this half. Kind of no man's land area of the field, maybe 2 plays to get 5 yards if needed for Davis.
Yeah, especially with the miss earlier already on a field goal.
I think Davis just gave the 5 right back. This would be the first penalty of the opening half against the Aggies.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down. Please reset the game clock to 58 seconds. Thank you.
The left guard, Jace Rodriguez, who started his career in the CAA at Stony Brook back east. Again, more pre-snap movement for a 3rd straight time. And this one's 50-50. The last 2 were rather obvious. A.J. Pena moved first.
Offside. Defense number 8 unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
This is what we call the penalty 2-step.
Okay. I mean, it's after dark out west. Anything goes.
Yeah, Pena was way off that. He knew it.
A.J. Pena, CAA Defensive Player of the Year, was an All-American last season. Now let's try this again. UC Davis, 3 of 7 on 3rd down his first half at home. Rams rush just 3. Pinnock delivers. It's Jones with a 1st down.
Able to move the chains. Good job just tackling by Rhode Island, but Pinnock doing a good job finding the receiver over the middle.
Off the play fake. Pinnock tucks and dives right near that line to gain. He has it for another UC Davis 1st down.
He didn't need to use his legs much in that win over Sac State, and they really felt that he played well. But tonight, he's been very active and mobile, but what's most important is when he runs, he's decisive. He doesn't wait. Tucks and goes. Has been very productive.
The previous plays under further review to rule the line to gain.
Well, this will be interesting because where they initially spotted the ball was where the run came to an end for Pinnock. But when a quarterback gives himself up, it's where you start to give yourself up. And that could be short of that 1st down line, which may force UC Davis into a timeout.
To get to the 19. He takes off. And again, when he was moving forward. Let's see, where does that knee go down? Again, I like the decisiveness. He tucks, he runs, he's working forward. I think that ball had a little tough to tell there.
You don't want to give this one a guess?
I'd like to see it again. The way things are going tonight, I want to be sure.
Caden Pinnock has already attempted 11 rushes in this game.
Watch that.
Oh, see that? Yeah, that knee's down and the ball is short.
Short of it, yes. There we go. Now I'm on board for sure. Mark me down, Chris.
I mean, you're just getting started, man. Jim Fleming, 12th year head coach, finalist for the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award this season, leading Rhode Island to the CAA championship, unbeaten in the regular season and conference play. Out west, tangling with UC Davis, 3rd place finisher in the Big Sky, but still a top 8 national seed. Montana State, the Big Sky regular season champ, the number 2 overall seed in these playoffs. Montana, 2nd place finisher in the Big Sky, the number 3 seed. Both won earlier today and advanced. And with North Dakota State's shocking loss at home to Illinois State, it not only allows the winner of this game a home game next week in the quarterfinal round against the Redbirds, but it also gives the Big Sky Conference a chance to have 3 teams among the final 8.
So, do we agree he's short?
Yes.
Okay. So now the question becomes, do you kick or do you try to get that first down?
I think it's second down.
That run was on third.
No, the play prior to Jones got the first down. So this would be second and short. Although, does it incur a 10-second runoff unless Davis takes a timeout, which would leave them with just one? UC Davis has already missed a field goal tonight, and they've been picked off in the end zone. They've certainly left some points out there. Almost 300 total yards for UC Davis's.
It was short and it goes to 4. Yeah, that was right.
After further review, the runner was down short of the line to gain at the 14.5-yard line. It'll be second down. Because the game clock should have continued to run, by rule, there's a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 35 seconds, and it'll start on my signal.
You nailed it, Chris. There we go. So it's second down.
Well, you know, UC Davis known for its high academic standards, and there's only so much we can solve.
Yeah.
Tim Plow electing not to burn that penultimate timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, he still got with the time. He still got time to operate. You're in the red zone.
Well, the clock has started as we wind inside of 30 seconds. Rhode Island will receive the second half kickoff. Slant. It's Jones. He will cruise. Touchdown. Second down, first down, fifth down, touchdown UC Davis.
No timeout, 10 seconds, all negated. On the slant here to Jones, working, hits it right in stride and takes it right in. And where at points it looked like that drive might stall. There, Davis able to finish.
Zach Jones didn't have any catches the final 2 games of the regular season, but a couple of big ones on this possession to close the first half for UC Davis. And this is everything you could have dreamt of out of an 8-9 matchup here in round 2 of the FCS playoffs.
Yeah, these two kind of going toe-to-toe. Davis had really kind of gotten off to a fast start in this game in terms of being able to move the ball down the field, not able to capitalize on points. Or red zone trips only resulted in 3. Rhode Island came back. His points on the board, but here right before the end of the first half, Davis able to capitalize.
I mean, we're looking at a combined almost 600 yards of total offense between these teams through one half of football. And we said, look, they've never played each other, opposite coasts. They've got a lot in common. They're separated by just 2 points, 18 seconds shy of halftime. And you can't imagine Rhode Island's going to try and do much here. Here's the FCS up to the minute bracket. Everything else final. Villanova from the CAA knocking off the Patriot League champion, previously unbeaten Lehigh. Illinois State down 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter at the Fargo Dome. The Redbirds' first win in 15 years over their conference rivals from the MVFC. And that gives the winner of UC Davis and Rhode Island another home game next Saturday in the quarterfinal round. And as we suspected, Rhode Island puts a knee to the turf. And our score at halftime here in round 2 out west, Rhode Island 20, UC Davis 18. The Rams will get the football first to open the 3rd quarter. Almost 600 yards of total offense between the Rams and Aggies. Locking horns here in round 2. On the other side of the break, Matt Berry, Joey Galloway, E.J. Manuel will take you through the half.
Happy Championship Saturday. Hope everyone's enjoying the FCS Playoffs. Gets back out there in just a bit. But first, Championship Saturday, Ohio State and Indiana. This one just went final, 1 versus 2. First quarter, Fernando Mendoza picked off by Ohio State.
A big play by a defense that's played outstanding all season long, getting their team in the red zone in position to score.
About a minute later, Sayin to Carnell Tate for the touchdown, 7-3 Buckeye.
Yeah, as a quarterback, whenever you get inside that tight red zone, when you start to break outside the pocket, that's the worst thing for a defense.
Guys, I'll tell you who had a big day. Charlie Becker from Nashville.
He really did, and it was catch after catch down the field. Becker, 6 catches, 126 yards.
And about a minute later, Mendoza to Elijah Surratt. What a throw, what a catch.
So nice to see Elijah Surratt back in the lineup here for the Hoosiers. Great job holding the line there. So
to tie the game.
Oh.
Now, Ohio State elected to go for it, 4th and 1 in the 3rd. They were stopped, so that could have theoretically been for the lead had they kicked the field goal earlier.
This throw.
This was the big one.
3rd and 6. Ohio State has 1 timeout left. That was the finisher.
That won them the game, 13-10. How about Indiana and Kurt Cignetti, the first Big Ten championship since 1967. Hoosiers, in all likelihood, the #1 seed in tomorrow's college football playoff bracket. ACC championship. This game's been entertaining. Chandler Morris to Jamari Taylor ties it at 7.
Yeah, we talked about this before the game. Jamari Taylor does a great job, not just catching it, but also making one defender miss, getting that extra yardage for a touchdown.
Here comes Duke, Nate Shepard. Remember, Duke 7-5 would be every bit of a bid stealer, and that the ACC may not get one for their champ. 14-7 Duke.
Virginia just beat Duke a couple weeks ago, but Duke came in this game ready to play.
4th quarter, 4th and 5. Morris turns it over on downs.
What do you think about going for it there?
Well, just kick the field goal.
And then, look, this is when you think this game is absolutely done for, because deep in their own territory, Duke picks off Morris. They were only able to get a field goal out of it, and now it's 20-13, late 4th quarter, Virginia driving. EJ, Joey, and Matt with you. Hopefully everyone's enjoying this college football Saturday. What stood out for you in the primetime games?
An amazing game by Indiana.
Yeah.
Continuing to make plays in the second half, defensively getting the stops they needed, and then the big 3rd down throw on the 3rd and 6 with 2 minutes left to make that catch and get a first down to put the game away. Amazing playmaking ability by Indiana.
And I look at the ACC game. I thought Duke would have a good chance in this matchup just because they played them 3 weeks ago, and they didn't play great in that matchup. Tonight, they've been able to run the football. Darian Mensah, at times, pretty good. So ultimately, we'll see if the Blue Devils can hold off and get a win.
Yeah, it's 4th and 4 now. We'll give you kind of a live update of what's going on. We have it on right over here to the side of us. There's 32 seconds left. 4th and 4. If Duke gets the stop, the game's over. They're going to be the ACC champions.
Yep, it'd be wild.
And this would be catastrophic for this league.
They will get to 8-5. They lost 5 games this season. Amazing job by Duke.
They're running the play as we speak. Morris over the middle, caught first down.
Wow.
So now Virginia has the ball, 1 timeout left. They're within the 15-yard line. And we're watching this with you live as this is going on. They're going to go tempo. So Morris looks left, throws left, incomplete.
He had to be out of bounds, right?
Wow.
Okay, so we're going to show you what just happened moments ago. This just happened moments ago. Chandler Morris, now he got pushed out of bounds and found his way back in. That is a touchdown.
Wow.
For Virginia.
Wow.
What an unbelievable play that was.
Wow. With playoff hopes on the line.
Playoff hopes on the line. Ooh. What a day it is. You're going to have to see what happens on college football final. But Virginia in business at an extra point away. But did Bama hurt their playoff hopes today? We'll discuss next. All right, so the touchdown counted. Eli Wood was forced out of bounds so he could reestablish himself. Catches the touchdown. 3 receptions on the night, all 3 on that drive, guys. Extra point was good. We are now going to overtime in the ACC.
And it looked like Virginia was dead a few times in the fourth quarter, but they continued to make plays. And what an amazing throw, an amazing catch to tie this game.
Guys, that was on 4th down.
Unbelievable. Ice water in the veins.
4th down,
Wow.
and we're going to overtime in Charlotte. Let's go to the SEC championship game now. Georgia and Alabama. Georgia coming in 0-4 against Bama in the SEC title game. And early on, it was Georgia's special
This was
teams.
big early. Teams had trouble moving the ball. This one gives Georgia the ball in scoring position, and they made it count.
Yeah, Gunnar Stockton takes advantage of it. Good boot out to the right.
Yep, great play call right there. Getting Gunnar Stockton out there in the flat. He can run or throw it, easy toss.
And then here to Dylan Bell over the middle of the field.
And the story of the game is how much time Gunnar Stockton had standing in the pocket, unharassed, just hitting a touchdown. Nice throw.
This was the backbreaker.
Just give it to him. And then nobody
Like
can
Ryan
tackle him.
Branch. I mean, he's a player.
That's right, speed.
Transfer out of USC, 28-7. How about that for Georgia? Back-to-back SEC championships, 24 and 25. First time in program history they've been able to do that. Now to the Big 12 championship game, the rematch between BYU and Texas Tech. BYU went down the field and made it 7-3 early. But then Cody Aiken here, what a catch by him.
What an answer by Texas Tech after you mentioned Duke went 14 plays in that drive to take the lead, and this answer by Texas Tech.
And then Bear Bachmeier had a rough day.
He had a rough day, and this is a really hard pass anyways because he's going into the boundary where all the defenders of Texas Tech are doing, and basically just reading his eyes right here. Excellent tip by Ben Roberts, and then he brings it in for an interception.
And guys, we saw this early on in the game the last time with the Texas Tech defense, what they were able to do and just kind of force the problems. And right up the gut, direct snap. They can run it, they can throw it. They've got a little bit of everything.
That's the best thing they did is they made their turnovers count. And here's another big one. Look at the hit on Bachmeier.
And they forced it. And then it's Aiken again on 4th and 2. And this was an absolute great state of Texas route again for Texas Tech. They might even move up into the top 3.
Good.
Winning the Big 12. What a season for Joey McGuire and the Red Raiders as they get their first outright Big 12 championship game. What a win, 34-7, Texas Tech the winner.
Coach McGuire, for the first time in Texas Tech program history, the Red Raiders are Big 12 champions. What kind of moment is this for you?
It's incredible. Man, I've said it all year long. Our superpower on this team is that how much we love each other. And then you look around and all this red. I'm so proud for us. I'm so proud for Red Raider Nation. It's incredible, incredible.
All right, so a season for the ages in Lubbock. First Big 12 title in history. Program record 12 wins. 12 wins by 20 or more points. That's more than any other school. So when they were winning this season, they were winning emphatically by beating everybody down. We'll see how they fare in the college football playoff among some of the country's best. We had a huge upset in the FCS. Top-ranked team was cruising until they weren't. Bison, Fargo Dome. Highlights next.
your game. The College Football Playoff Selection Show. The bracket will be filled. Judgment Day is here.
EJ will be on 10 a.m. Joey will be on at noon. I'll be on at 3 p.m. Eastern. Busy day for us talking bracket. Busy day FCS bracket. Illinois State, Daniel Sobkowitz, touchdown. They had to come back from 2 touchdowns late. They decided to go for 2.
I love the call. Can you convert?
This is an undefeated North Dakota State Bison team. National championships, and Illinois State takes the lead. Nathan Hayes, backup quarterback, had to come in late. North Dakota State starter hurt. 4th and 7, ball game.
Got to give him a chance.
What a comeback. 29-28 the final. Illinois State goes into the Fargo Dome and gets the win. Look at some of the other FCS championship bracket scores. America's team Yale went down 21-13. Villanova, Lehigh in a tight one. The biggest upset. What about Mercer? What happened to Mercer?
I don't know what happened to Mercer. They just couldn't score.
Decided not to play defense, too.
Thanks for that analysis.
Welcome back to the FCS Championship, second round. About 15 miles west of Sacramento in Davis, California. 2018, the 9th seed Rhode Island champions of the CAA. 2-point lead over the host UC Davis Aggies. It is great to have you with us. Thanks for staying up late night to watch a little playoff football alongside Craig Hubbard, Chris Sylvester, our entire crew. No shortage of fireworks in that first half as these two teams combined for almost 600 yards of total offense.
Yeah, they're going to stop those eyelids from getting heavy with all this scoring and all this offense. Both of these teams are playing like 8 versus 9 in the playoffs, the way they've been able to kind of go back and forth. Really, the difference is missed opportunities by Davis there, an interception deep in Rhode Island territory. Then the Rams, Antoine Littleton would punch it in. Davis would respond with the score there, and then Littleton would take it to the house, the big man rumbling downfield. And then Devin Farrell would find his big play receiver, Marquise Buchanan. And then right before the half, though, Davis would respond hitting hitting his receiver, Zach Jones, on the slant. He would punch it in. But really, if you think about it, Chris, is missed field goal, and then we saw that interception from Pinnock. 10 points that Davis missed putting on the board, but still staying right in this game. This offense has been able to move the football. It's just been a matter of times of finishing.
UC Davis put together some trickery after their first touchdown of the game. Punched in a 2-point conversion on a unique formation. Rhode Island had a point after try blocked, and that's why this is a 2-point game instead of your traditional 21-17.
And for Rhode Island, they have a 1,000-yard receiver in Buchanan coming in tonight, a 1,000-yard rusher in Littleton. Both of those players are already over 100 yards on the night.
Corey the Rocket Dog eager to retrieve the tee as Isaac Mancera starts the third quarter. Brendan Barrow on the return, a transfer from Stanford. Hit hard, but able to stay on his feet, and he keeps him to about the 25. 20 yards on the kick return, and it's Corey the Rocket Dog's moment. This has been a long-standing tradition at UC Davis. She's sniffing for it. She's got it. That takes talent.
Yes. That's dressed warmly, too.
And you get a treat at the end. Because
you're not doing it for free.
No. Devin Farrell, first-team All-CAA quarterback. Didn't get to play in the postseason last year. Suffered a season-ending injury a couple weeks prior. Rhode Island lost in this second round at Mercer a season ago. Trying to keep its season going into the quarterfinal round of the FCS championship for what would be the first time since 1985. And we'd like to welcome those that were watching the conclusion of the ACC championship. The Duke Blue Devils in overtime get a score and an interception. And that likely means we'll have multiple group of 5 teams in the college football playoff when everything's announced tomorrow. Here in the FCS playoffs, winner of this game hosts Illinois State next week. Farrell steps away, but ultimately sacked back at the 22. The pressure too much for the redshirt junior quarterback, Sam Goligowski, his 6th sack of the season.
Bringing pressure, Farrell's able to kind of avoid it. It's almost like, Chris, he ran back into that. Goligowski able to bring him down. First time really kind of tonight they've been able to kind of corral Farrell when he's been on the move.
Rhode Island's offensive line did not allow a sack last week against Central Connecticut State at home, but UC Davis has found Farrell in the backfield a couple of times tonight. This is 3rd and long. Over the middle, behind the intended receiver, Connor Feiner. The first team all-conference tight end, his first target tonight, had a touchdown last week. And a nice stand for UC Davis's defense coming out of the half.
Yeah, a little bit behind his target there on that throw, as you mentioned. Davis defense coming out. Able to get Farrell down when he was trying to get on the move. Able to force this punt.
Kalani Riddick waiting for the punt from Jimmy Allen. And a fair catch called for and made just shy of the 45. So some good field position upcoming for UC Davis. Aggies didn't have any trouble moving the football. 310 total yards that first half. But like you said, they left some points out there, missed field goal, and a turnover in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, the offense has been able to kind of operate, been able to get down to the field. Finishing at times has not been there. Pinnock at times has really just kind of been electric with his ability to run the football, escape trouble. Just got to watch the turnovers, which have kind of plagued them here in this late stretch of the season.
Jordan Fisher made contact with him at the line of scrimmage, but able to keep his feet to midfield and winds up getting 6 yards. before he runs into the arms of Case Mankins. So Jordan Fisher, his 11th carry tonight, and he is surging awfully close to a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, they got listed at 5'8", 180. Nobody told him with the way he runs.
Junior from Portland, Oregon, one of the few out-of-state rostered players for UC Davis. Do a bulk of their recruiting here in Cali. Fisher into the second level and into the clear for a Davis touchdown. 50 yards. And that'll put him north of 1,000 on the season. A milestone touchdown run. An early third quarter statement.
Well, he wears number 20 because of Barry Sanders. A great move there, working to his right. Cuts it to the left, sees the seam, and then takes it all the way to the house. A tough run before that, and there he shows the speed.
He had 3 touchdowns in the regular season finale here at home against Sacramento State. And it's a 2-play, 56-yard scoring drive for UC Davis. As this barn burner rolls along late night out west in the FCS playoffs, Jordan Fisher putting UC Davis back in front. FCS playoffs in Northern California. UC Davis, the dynamic duo of Jordan Fisher, Samuel Batu, going north of 1,000 yards in rushing and receiving tonight. 4th time that's happened from a receiver running back tandem in program history. First since 2002, which means it's the first time in UC Davis's FCS era that they've had 2 reach 1,000 yards in each of these categories.
And both teams now with the 1,000-yard receiver and 1,000-yard rusher on the field. You want to know how you get all these points? Having those type of playmakers.
Brendan Barrow has to back up and takes a knee for a touchback. Corey the Rocket Dog will retrieve the tee, and Rhode Island's offense now trailing by 5 points. Will get back to work after a 3-and-out to start the half. Kind of hard to believe it was just 3-0 at the end of 1 quarter in this game.
Yeah, but even then there should have been more points. Davis, we talked about it earlier, just the missed opportunities early on in this game. They found their stride since the end of that first quarter, and it's been points galore.
Devin Farrell on a handoff to Antoine Littlejohn. Not an easy customer to bring down. And a 1-yard run for Antoine Littleton Jr. Who had 2 touchdowns that first half.
You know, they have not really kind of gotten involved yet tonight. That's an interesting part of this offense is number 11, Amari Walker. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife within this unit.
Only 3 different receivers have caught a pass tonight for Rhode Island.
Which is that a characteristic because they have 5 receivers over 25 catches coming into tonight.
Tight pocket for Farrell, and down he goes. Another sack for UC Davis, and a second for Sam Goligowski tonight.
Goligowski is up top, working against the tackle, the right tackle, and Farrell doesn't sense him. He just keeps working, and he's able to kind of bring him down. Working against Nick Thomas, who's filling in for their starting right tackle, Thomas Buxton, who was hurt in that Central Connecticut State game.
And it puts Rhode Island in another 3rd down and forever. 18 yards to get. Davis brings 4. Farrell floats it middle. Kwarteng past the original line of scrimmage, but not much further than that. 10 yards on the completion. And Rhode Island, they've had it twice coming out of halftime, a pair of 3 and outs.
As you see Davis, really, this Davis defense flying around, forcing another punt. It was a quick strike last time they had the ball with that run from Fisher.
Kalani Riddick backpedals to the 22 and surges across the 30-yard line on the punt return. That's where UC Davis will set up shop when you get back. Aggies have a 5-point lead here in round 2 of the postseason.
Together at the mountaintop, champions of college football.
The College Football Playoff Selection Show. The bracket will be filled. Judgment Day is here.
That's what we've been waiting for since the college football season kicked off back in late August. These are the finals around the FBS Conference Championship games. Duke in overtime knocking off Virginia, which more than likely means nobody from the ACC will be in the college football playoff this year. Indiana will likely be the #1 overall seed, beating Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship earlier today. And well, question marks for Alabama, question marks for BYU, Miami, and it looks like James Madison and Tulane will both get into the college football playoff. It'll be the first time in the brief history of the 12-team CFP that you'll have 2 group of 5 teams represented. Here in the FCS playoffs, on the cusp of the final 8. The last quarterfinal matchup to be decided. Winner of this game will host Illinois State next weekend, after the Redbirds went to the Fargo Dome and did the unthinkable, taking care of North Dakota State, the #1 overall seed. That's Moses Muse, Rhode Island's leading tackler, slow to get up.
Muse is a versatile part of that defense. We were talking, Chris Laurenti, that their defensive coordinator, was saying how many different things when he's practicing. He's always in different parts of the practice field with different groups because of the versatility that he brings and how many different ways they could use him within that front 7.
Rhode Island needs all the bodies possible on defense. UC Davis nearing 400 yards of total offense in this game. Only needed 2 plays on their last possession to punch in a go-ahead touchdown. Jordan Fisher ran one in from 50 yards out to put him over 1,000 yards on the season. Pinnock fakes the flip to Dobbins and can't get away from A.J. Pena. The CAA Defensive Player of the Year picks up his 11th sack and sends Caden Pinnock 7 yards the wrong direction.
Yeah, they've been able to contain him, Pena, for most of tonight. There on the fake, not able, coming around the edge, able to kind of reach out that hand, bring Pinnock in.
Buck Buchanan Award finalist each of the last 2 years. Finished 6th in Buck Buchanan Award voting this season. Empty backfield on 3rd and long for Caden Pinnock. UC Davis 4 for 8 on 3rd down tonight. Quick screen, middle of the field. Batu can't get away. Samuel Batu's had a couple of long catches in this game, but Rhode Island limits him to 8 yards there. And the Rams defense rises up. They get a much needed stop.
Yeah, it certainly feels like we got a lot of football to play. Both of these offenses are explosive. You didn't want to kind of let Davis to kind of get rolling, especially after 2 drives that went nowhere for Rhode Island to start the second half.
Dylan Morrow punting for a second time. Oh, that's an absolute boomer. Put a little too much on it as it sailed over the head of Marquise Buchanan, and it will come out to the 20-yard line. So Dylan Morrow 61 yards on the punt. I think he would have liked to subtract a little bit from that to put Rhode Island in a more uncomfortable spot. There you see Tim Plow, second-year head coach, trying to take his alma mater, UC Davis, to the quarterfinal round for a 2nd straight year. If Davis holds on, it would be the 2nd straight season Illinois State comes this way. UC Davis beat them in the 2nd round back in 2024. Already Rhodey's 3rd touch coming out of halftime. Pair of 3 and outs on the first 2. Wide side of the field and off target, looking for Abora Quarteng. A 6'2" wideout from Alexandria, Virginia. He was covered by Drew Cofield, freshman corner, who started every game this year for Davis.
And a long way to kind of go with that throw. It's not always for big plays, but we've seen what's possible, again, to keep feeding that football. In Davis's 3 losses this year, all 3 of those teams that beat the Aggies rushed for over 200 yards.
Rhode Island north of 120 rushing yards tonight. They'll throw it on 2nd down. Farrell finds Connor Fighter, the tight end who lost the ball. Picked up. Rachina down the sideline. And UC Davis has a takeaway. Connor Feiner, first-team All-CAA tight end. His first catch, and he puts it on the turf. UC Davis takes over.
Able to get it to Defiant, working downfield, and that is punched out before he's able to get it. That is Jackson Severs, who does a great job of coming from behind and punching that out. I had a chance last night to go to Davis's team meeting and sit in, and one of the things that head coach Tim Plow mentioned was how many times the Rhode Island has put the ball on the ground this year, and he felt like that was an area they could take advantage of. Jackson Severs, in pursuit, able to punch it out, create a turnover, and set up this offense in the red zone.
UC Davis, their best starting field position. They dial up a design run for Caden Pinnock, driving the legs inside the 10 and down to the 9-yard line. A rugged run for the UC Davis quarterback, and they net 8 yards on the first play of the possession.
That's 24 times this year Rhode Island has put the ball on the ground. They haven't lost all those. Again, certainly tempting fate as they did there.
Now can Davis capitalize? Pinnock throws, end zone, Ian Simpson, touchdown. And 2 plays after the takeaway, Davis has its largest lead tonight.
Those Davis tight ends stood out to the Rhode Island staff. They were saying they were the best tight ends they had seen. They're going to fake the dive, doing a nice job. You see Davey, number 26, how he comes creeping up. That allows Simpson, number 0, to kind of get free. A nice job, too, adjusting to a pass a little bit off target.
Hunter Ridley splits the uprights on the point after try. Rhode Island may have jumped off sides there, and UC Davis will take that penalty on the ensuing kickoff. Well, Tim Plow, UC Davis's head coach, not shy in metaphors and analogies.
Offside. Defense number 44. Half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Replay the try.
Well, they're going to replay the try and not take it on the kickoff. It would make sense, right? Stretch this thing up to 13 points. This has been a haymaker thrown by UC Davis coming out of halftime.
Yeah, I mean, the ability just, and set up by the defense, right? It's a team game, a turnover, able to create points. They missed a scoring opportunity by turning the ball over in the first half. Here, their defense gets their offense the ball back in the red zone. They thank their defense by punching it in there. And listen, you get a little bit closer. We've already seen him go for 2 and get it.
Both tight ends, Ian Simpson and Mitchell Dixon, line up in the backfield. The block for Jordan Fisher, who twirls across the goal line for 2. Points off turnovers for UC Davis. And the Aggies stretch the lead to a baker's dozen.
Jackson Severs is able to punch it out, create a turnover, get his offense the ball in the red zone. And then Pinnock hits his tight end, Simpson, and UC Davis extending their lead.
2 quick touchdowns to open the second half. And UC Davis, an at-large from the Big Sky after a first-round bye of 13 at home over the 9th seed Rhode Island, champions of the Coastal Athletic Association. And this is the largest lead on either side all night. Bringing the energy on a chilly night here in Northern California. Usually you come out this way as a team from the Northeast in December, and there's this huge discrepancy between the weather here and the weather back home. It's only about 10 degrees warmer here in Davis, California than it is back in Kingston, Rhode Island, the home of the Rams. Brendan Barrow on the kick return, and he is smushed shy of the 20-yard line, just 9 yards on the kick return. And out comes Rhode Island. This offense had a lot of success in that first half. They've got to get their star running back, the baby butts, Antoine Littleton Jr., rolling again.
Yeah, and you got to feed him again. He showed on that long touchdown run, the one here where he let that seam develop and he hits it. But you've got to keep feeding him. He's just not one hit and run all the time. Again, he wears down a defense, and you got to pick up a first down here, Rhode Island. Right now, this Davis team on both sides of the ball is feeling it.
Littleton tries a left side surge and submarines back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe half a yard there. Trey Carr, junior from Fresno, made the stop for the UC Davis defense. So Rhode Island, this is their 4th possession already coming out of the half. A pair of 3-and-outs and a turnover the last time they had it. They have been capable of explosive plays. Had 2 touchdowns north of 50 yards back in the first half. Misdirection, Barrow finds a crease up the sideline. An explosive run for Brendan Barrow, 21 yards. Mike Flanagan, the first-year offensive coordinator, calls Brendan Barrow the lightning to Antoine Littleton Jr.'s thunder.
Yeah, and they're showing the lightning, just motioning him in, bringing him around. He's that second running back. They split him out, put him into the backfield.
A return to California for Barrow. Spent the last 4 years at Stanford. There's a completion over the middle to Greg Gaines III. His second catch with a marker down back near midfield.
An eligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
That wipes out an 18-yard play.
Dimitri Robinson kind of rotates in at that right guard. See the ball at the 42, can't get more than 3 yards down. See Robinson at that point already past the 45.
Rhode Island has been penalized 5 times for 36 yards. And Littleton, nothing doing. Back to the line of scrimmage. Into that navy blue wall of UC Davis's defense. Jim Fleming trying to take this program somewhere it hasn't been since 1985, the quarterfinal round of the FCS postseason. Winner of this game hosts Illinois State. All of a sudden, the Redbirds have kind of become the Cinderella story of these FCS playoffs after the win over NDSU earlier today. Marquise Buchanan stopped immediately by Drew Cofield, second team All Big Sky corner.
Freshman, true freshman, playing really well. Again, you try to get the ball to your playmaker, Buchanan. They do there, but Cofield lets him go nowhere after the catch. Put him in his 3rd and long.
Now, Drew Cofield, one of 2 true freshman corners in the FCS to start every game for his respective team this season. That puts Rhode Island in 3rd down, where the Rams are 3 of 8. The rush coming on Farrell. He uncorks it deep. Down the sideline, the catch made. Omari Walker, but he was out of bounds. A terrific over-the-shoulder grab but Walker could not keep a foot down inbounds. And it brings up 4th down for Rhode Island.
Yeah, you mentioned Walker a little bit earlier, trying to get him involved. And you see that right toe is on the line. He's looking it in, and that right foot is going to come down. That toe is right in the white. They say it's a game of inches. See an example right there.
Maybe if he were 2 cleat sizes smaller, that's a catch.
Done in by big feet, right?
Jimmy Allen punting to Kalani Riddick, who signals fair catch back around the 15. UC Davis has dominated this 3rd quarter, outscoring Rhode Island 15-0. And their defense has been terrific.
Yeah, this defense has really played well and been swarming, tackling a little bit better than they had shown down the stretch.
Trying to stay warm on a cool night for most Californians. This is about as cool as it'll get all winter. 45 degrees here in Davis, about 15 miles west of Sacramento, where UC Davis is trying to extend its season and play another home game next week. Pinnock on the roll, makes the decision to run. Long strides and a hurdle. Caden Pinnock up to the 43 on a 26-yard run.
That's some savvy there from the redshirt freshman quarterback. There's a receiver underneath. Mitchell Gardner, number 44. He's going to take away the tight end. He lets Waisel Gardner turns his back, and then he turns and runs.
Kaiasia takes it up near midfield on a 6-yard carry. Caden Pinnock, who's an outfielder on the UC Davis baseball team. 2nd year with the program, redshirted, sat behind the All-American and record-setting quarterback Miles Hastings, who graduated following last season. UC Davis, they haven't really missed a beat, going from the experience of Hastings to the young dual-threat ability of Caden Pinnock. I give it to Asia again, and this time he's wrapped up into the arms of the CAA Defensive Player of the Year, A.J. Pena. 3rd down.
Not just dual threat, but dual sport at the college level. It's kind of rare. We had a chance, talking with Tim Plow yesterday. He was saying that he hasn't missed any football events because of baseball. And he also said that it was something that he had gone through as well, talking about Coach Plow, but the ability to do 2 sports and to kind of be able to perform like this is, as a freshman, very impressive from Pinnock.
Pinnock rolls again. Sidearm toss. Stacey Dobbins out of bounds shy of the 40. Another 3rd down conversion for UC Davis. They get 10.
We've seen tonight Pinnock being very effective with his legs there, kind of rolling out, scrambling. Finds Dobbins able to kind of just lay it in there. Really nice job. The other interesting thing about the baseball angle is Plow was saying too that baseball kind of teaches you mental toughness, because you might go 0 for 4, you might go 0 for 10. You're kind of on an island. The quarterback, you're either going to get the praise or you're going to get the criticism. He really feels like baseball has helped his quarterback mentally as well.
1st down run. Kaiasia trips and stumbles forward to the 39. It's a game of failure when you talk about baseball. You go 3 for 10, every 10 at-bats for the entirety of your career, and you're talked about as one of the all-time greats. You complete 3 passes in 10 attempts, and you're not a very good quarterback.
So, yeah, it's interesting to see that. Again, the ability to come to college, be able to do 2 sports, and then be able to extrapolate something from baseball to help you make you a better football player as well.
With a steady diet of Kaiasia, the number 2 tailback. Pinnock takes it out of his belly on 2nd down. On the move again, and to the sideline right near another 1st down, UC Davis. Rohan Davey finally got to the paint to push him out. And the Aggies do pick up another first down. Tim Plow has raved so much about Caden Pinnock and his elite work ethic. After he committed to Davis in high school his senior year, he'd take a 5 a.m. train every weekday from Sacramento to Davis and then back before school started to better familiarize himself with the playbook.
Showing he's got a good feel of it now.
Davis on the move, approaching the 30. Jordan Fisher back in the game. Somehow kept his feet, but that'll lead to a bigger loss as he's planted into the turf back at the 38-yard line. Layson Hibbert, a grad transfer from Long Island, and it's a loss of 4.
Well, we told you why he wears that number 20. That was one of those number 20 type runs. It was exciting for a moment, didn't really get anything, but it still kind of made you go, whoa.
Empty backfield on 2nd and long. Pinnock scanning, unloading, and it's caught by the tight end Mitchell Dixon, who's a captain on this UC Davis team. First catch tonight will put UC Davis in a much more manageable 3rd down in the final 20 seconds of this 3rd quarter, and UC Davis has no interest in snapping it again. A +15 quarter for the 8 seed UC Davis, trying to march on to the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs for a 2nd straight year. Up 13 as we head to the 4th, late night out west. All right, the big shocker in round 2 of these FCS playoffs, the #1 seed, unbeaten in the regular season, North Dakota State, defending national champ. Illinois State had been blown out by the Bison in Normal earlier this year. Tommy Rittenhouse, on a day where he threw 5 interceptions, delivers a touchdown and a 2-point conversion with a minute to play. And Illinois State somehow taking out North Dakota State. Winner of this game will host the Redbirds next week, and UC Davis just took another step towards the quarterfinal round as Samuel Batu hauls in the 27-yard touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter.
And this is a beautiful throw there on the play action from Pinnock. Just drops it in there on Samuel Batu. Got the one-on-one matchup off the play action and just beautiful throw. And because of that upset today, now Davis a little bit closer to getting another home game. I still don't know how. 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions by Illinois State.
And just like that, UC Davis, who trailed by a couple of points at halftime, doubling up Rhode Island.
Batu there with the move, shows the inside, breaks to the outside, the speed, and then Pinnock lays it up for him. Drops it right in there.
Over 2,000 receiving yards in his UC Davis career. Now touchdowns in 8 of the last 9 games for the Aggies. And he's planning to come back next season. He's got another year of eligibility. Oftentimes you see guys at this level, they graduate and use that year of eligibility at a higher level of college football. He's got such a unique story. He was born in Liberia in West Africa and was part of a military family. His dad in the Marines, still stationed out east in Virginia, moved around a lot as a kid, actually started to learn to play football in Japan while he and his father were living there. And his dad finally had a chance to come out to Davis and watch him a couple weeks ago in the regular season finale against Sac State. And he said, look, you're staying here next year. You're not jumping in the transfer portal. And UC Davis reaping the benefits now and in the future for Samuel Batu as Brendan Barrow's kick return is out to the 28. Well, the FCS playoffs continue with quarterfinal action next Friday and Saturday. ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Plus have you covered. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Corey the Rocket Dog hoping to have her season continue. And UC Davis, if they can hold this 20-point fourth quarter lead for a second straight playoffs, they would host Illinois State, the Redbirds from the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Devin Farrell and Rhode Island have been blanked so far in this second half. He scans, nothing available downfield. The check down to Littleton. And out of bounds after a short gain on first down. So what changed coming out of the half for Rhode?
I think Davis is just kind of playing inspired football on both sides of the ball, creating a turnover. Again, it's very unusual to have a playoff team that is at -4 in turnover margin. Usually teams that are as successful as Rhode Island are usually on the plus side in turnover margin. Here we're seeing it play a role as Davis is able to create a turnover and then into points in the second half.
Gaines has it on the perimeter, shakes out of a tackle. Greg Gaines up to midfield. And Trent Carrad finally got there to chase him down to defensive end. 20 yards on the pass play.
And Gaines, a captain, quickly getting it out to the edge, and the swipe there, very fluid after the catch, able to get more needed yards. A big drive here for the Rams. Certainly have an explosive offense, but they need to counterpunch here.
Yeah, there might be 3 more possessions left for this Rhode Island offense. But we talk about having to play near perfect to the finish line on the road, and that won't help.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It is a noticeable loss. Thomas Buxton went down with a season-ending injury last week. The right tackle, who is on the verge of starting 40 straight games. And they have felt the lack of his presence tonight.
That's an offensive line that had a lot of continuity.
First and 15. It's Barrow, the Stanford transfer. Angling Rolling towards the outside with a first down and more. To the 31-yard line, 25 on Brendan Barrows' longest carry tonight.
And continuing, try to stay balanced, work that run, ripping off a big play there. They also still got to continue to find ways to get the football to number 1, Marquise Buchanan.
There's Buxton. His teammates trying to come on back without him. Short run for Devin Farrell on first down. Rhode Island now with as many rushing yards as passing yards in this game. The balance has been there, but nothing doing in this second half, throwing or running the football against Davis's defense.
Yeah, just unable to sustain drives, getting behind the chains early in series, starting this second half, 2 3 and outs, then that turnover.
Antoine Littleton, 123 yards on the ground tonight, but much of that in the first half. Boy, and Rhode Island will have to burn a timeout.
Timeout.
See the frustration.
Rhode Island, their first of the half, 30-second timeout.
Frustration starting to build for this Rams team. Had a halftime lead, but they've watched Davis score all 22 points that this second half has had to offer. 12 minutes to play here in Northern California. UC Davis up 20 at home.
Done.
29 unanswered points for UC Davis on its home turf in the second round of the FCS playoffs tonight. And the Aggies, who racked up over 300 yards of total offense despite trailing at the half. Their defense has held Rhode Island to just 81 yards coming out of the break, and Davis has scored 22 points since then. I mean, when you win this time of year, not only does your season extend, but the band gets to play at another game. The cheerleaders get to be on the turf one more time. Out of the Rhode Island timeout, a shot to the end zone and incomplete. Greg Gaines had a step, but it just wasn't there from Devin Farrell.
Yeah, missed opportunity, and Farrell, who could be pretty accurate, overthrows Gaines, who was breaking free there. Really, again, this is an explosive offense, but it feels almost crucial here to kind of regain some momentum and score on this drive.
Jim Fleming has led Rhode Island to the second round of the FCS playoffs in back-to-back seasons. Last year, the Rams' run came to an end against the Mercer Bears from the SoCon. Out here in Big Sky Country at UC Davis, they trail by 20 in the fourth tonight. Likely two-down territory when you consider the area of the field and where we are in this game. The pressure on Farrell, trying to spin away and has to loft it out of bounds, incomplete.
That pressure pushed Farrell back 20 yards from the original line of scrimmage. He just had to heave it up there. That pressure was crucial because even if for the Rams there, just to try to get something to make it a more manageable fourth. Still here sitting in now 4th and long. Davis has been successful with the pressure. Do they dial it up here again? They're showing it.
Trips to the right, single receiver, bottom of your screen, late in the play clock. Farrell hit as he throws. Contact in the secondary and a flag. Greg Gaines III was the intended receiver, and I think he just learned of that marker that was thrown from the back of the end zone because he was letting the near side official hear it.
Defense number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
The penalty on Ty Richardson, who's had a really good night in the back end for Davis's defense.
Davis brought pressure, kind of able to get in Farrell's face and downfield. And it was some kind of grabbing a little bit before that. I will say this, having watched it, had they not thrown it, I don't know if I would have been that upset.
Off the play fake. It's off the hands of Buchanan and almost intercepted. Marquise Buchanan has been limited in this second half, as has everybody for Rhode Island, and could not hold on to the slant.
Yeah, there he pulls it. This guy's a receiver, and just it looks like Buchanan was kind of anticipating the traffic there over the middle. Did not fully extend for that. And it's actually a best case scenario that it was incomplete. Here's Davis close there to another turnover.
Yeah, Jackson Severs, who forced the fumble in the third quarter, almost had the interception off the deflection. Second down, it's Barrow out of the backfield and out of bounds near the 10. 5 yards on the grab for Brendan Barrow. Fifth-year senior from Canada. Didn't see a ton of time at Stanford, just 10 appearances across 4 years with the Cardinal. But when he left Stanford, I'm sure he was relieved he wasn't going to be doing all that cross-country travel. And well, they sent him back west here in round 2 of the FCS playoffs. This is third down for Rhode Island. In the red zone, trailing by 20 in the fourth. Davis brings 4. Farrell throws. End zone off the hands of Buchanan again. It was covered by Kalani Riddick, first team all Big Sky safety. And it's fourth down for the Rams again.
See Riddick, he's going to move with Buchanan. Does a nice job running with him. A little bit of contact there. Looks back for the ball. Puts his offense in a fourth down.
The Aggie defense trying to get off the field and keep this 20-point lead intact. Farrell scanning, rolling, throwing, incomplete. Buchanan the target again, and UC Davis gets off the field on fourth down as Rhode Island is stuffed again. The Rams still scoreless in the second half. UC Davis in control at home.
now.
I tell you, the march to the Music City took a big twist earlier today when North Dakota State fell to Illinois State at home. This is the other side of the bracket. Montana will match up with South Dakota in a Big Sky Missouri Valley clash. Stephen F. Austin, the Southland champ, will take on the Big Sky champion Montana State Friday on ESPN. And UC Davis up 20 in this game, poised for a rematch against Illinois State. They beat the Redbirds in the second round of the playoffs last year. Tarleton State shared the UAC regular season title with Abilene Christian. They will take on Villanova from the CAA. The Nova Wildcats handed Lehigh its first loss of the season earlier today. UC Davis, after turning away Rhode Island on 4th down, they take over just shy of 10.5 minutes to play in this game. And this NASCAR tempo offense likely will slow down here to try and take time off the clock.
Yeah, try to continue to work the football. But we've seen Pinnock tonight really be a factor with his legs. We'll probably start to put some of that more of shouldering the load on number 20, Jordan Fisher, 34, Kayasiya.
What a job Tim Plow has done in just 2 seasons with this program. Flirting with a chance to make back-to-back FCS quarterfinal rounds. As Jordan Fisher gets just a couple on 2nd down, it puts UC Davis in 3rd and medium. It shows you how good the Big Sky is, right? Davis, the 3rd place finisher in the league. They still get a top 8 national seed. And there's a good chance all 3 teams from the conference will still be alive next week.
Well, you had mentioned earlier, maybe not the same type of depth that we've seen from the Big Sky this year in terms of playoff invitations, but right now they're sitting pretty to have all 3 continue to move on.
Pressure comes on Caden Pinnock, and nobody there over the middle where he threw the football. Had to get rid of it. And UC Davis, a very quick 3 and out. That's exactly what Rhode Island needed. UC Davis, they were the 5 seed in the FCS playoffs last year. They blew out Illinois State here in the 2nd round. Lost in Vermillion against the South Dakota Coyotes. Trying to extend the home schedule another week with that shocking upset of North Dakota State earlier today. Marquise Buchanan signaling fair catch across the 40. A 40-yard punt from Dylan Morrow. Hey, kick off your Week 14 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown crew on ESPN and the ESPN app. They'll have all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game right up to kickoff. Our Week 14 Monday Night Football matchup between the Eagles and Chargers, 8 Eastern, ABC, ESPN, and ESPN Deportes. Plus, we'll have a special Monsters Fun Day football version on ESPN2 and Disney's networks with an animated game into the iconic Monsters, Inc. world in Monstropolis, with Mike Wazowski leading the Eagles and Sully leading the Chargers. What's your favorite Pixar film? Because Monsters, Inc. is up there for me.
I just know Monstropolis has always been a tough place to play.
Especially if you're Boo.
Yeah.
Well, Kwarteng making the grab on 1st down as Rhode Island tries to come on back in a hurry. The clock a factor here with 9 minutes to play in a 3-possession game.
And Davis going to be happy to kind of get things underneath, tackle, make the Rams have to work for it.
Another one over the middle. Abora Kwarteng catches it again, and this time motors inside the 30. 18 more yards for Abora Kwarteng.
See Riddick the entire time he was on his back just swaying at the football.
You can afford to do that up 20 in the 4th.
They also probably gave it extra, probably 5 or 6 yards instead of just bringing him down quickly.
Rhode Island quickly on the move at the UC Davis 28. Couple plays into the possession. The pocket gets tight on Farrell, and he gives himself up for a loss. Interesting decision. Instead of just chucking it out of bounds, he had escaped the pocket.
Yeah, I don't think he was in a position to throw it. He saw big number 92.
That's Rain Mayo.
Oh, yeah. That's a big, we see that big body in front of you, you're not sure where to go.
Clock will keep churning inside of 8 minutes to play. $29 unanswered points for UC Davis in this game after Rhode Island led 20-11 late in the second quarter. Ags bring just 3. Farrell puts everything he has behind it, and it's incomplete, looking for Greg Gaines. The coverage provided by the all-conference corner, Drew Cofield, the true freshman from Thousand Oaks down south.
This is UC Davis defense is playing really well, probably without their most important defender, Rex Connors, as well. Despite only playing 4 games, he still came in tonight 7th on the team in tackles. He was really a leader of that unit, and if multiple players have kind of stepped up to take his place, and that defense is playing great tonight, especially in the second half.
3rd and long. Farrell scanning. It's Quartang, his 3rd catch of the possession, and able to wheel down inside the 20. Just shy of that line to gain. Gets 13 yards, and it's 4th and short for Rhode Island.
They're not able to move the chains, but at least put him in a much more realistic situation here.
They were turned away last time. They kept the offense on the field for 4th down. 1 for 2 in the game. Farrell takes it out of the belly of Barrow. Throws and has Quartang. He slipped behind the defense, and it's a touchdown for Rhode Island. Beautiful play call on 4th and short. And Abora Quartang hauls in a touchdown for Rhode Island. Their first points of the second half. And Jacob Syke, the Buck Buchanan Award finalist, defensive end for UC Davis, is down. There's also a marker down
eligible
on the play.
receiver downfield, offense number 71. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, 4th down.
And that wipes away the touchdown. So still a goose egg in the second half for Rhode Island.
There's Nick Thomas, who's done, really a solid job. He had to step in last week when Thomas Buxton went down. And that was really, it looked like a designed run that Davis had done a nice job of taking away. Farrell had seen that, saw his receiver break through it, but that led to Thomas being an ineligible downfield.
4th and 6 after the penalty. Rhode Island's been penalized 9 times tonight. Only 2 on the other side for UC Davis. The Aggies bring 3. Farrell backpedaling. Flushed out. Keeps it alive. Off his back foot. Incomplete. The coverage too much, as was the pressure. And Rhode Island still can't find points in this second half. UC Davis in control.
it done.
It looked like the Rams were driving. This was the 4th down play where the points were taken off the board. You're going to see Farrell here. He's going to keep it off the edge. It's a great job by Davis of taking away the run. He improvises and throws it downfield. Looks like a score, but you see number 71 out past the 15, and he drew the penalty and took the points off the board, pushed him back, and that defense would swarm and force the incompletion. But well defended. This Davis defense has just been swarming around in the second half.
Well, UC Davis takes over with 6.5 minutes to play. Give it to Samuel Batu on the end around. Rayson Hibbert brings him down. 4 yards on the play. The Aggies are nearing 500 yards of total offense in this game against a Rhode Island defense that checked in 14th best in the FCS, allowing opponents just 317 yards a game.
Yeah, I mean, they've really never stopped talking about Rhode Island, this Davis offense, for moving the football. Davis at times has kind of stalled, especially earlier in this game, but they've been able to kind of move the ball up and down the field consistently all night.
And you can make a case as a marker comes down, likely against Davis here.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's Jace Rodriguez, the left guard, his 2nd penalty of the game. You can make the case that UC Davis kind of limped to the finish line in the regular season. They took a bad loss here at home to Idaho State in early November. Lopsided loss on the road to Montana State. Had to come back in the 4th quarter to beat Sac State in the regular season finale. Rhode Island almost felt like they deserved the top 8 seed over UC Davis, but the Aggies have really proven why they got a 1st-round bye in this second half.
And it looked like they made good use of that bye week. Because you're right, because they did not look like a dominant team down the stretch. The team you're watching tonight was not the team they were showing over those final 4 games.
And some of it was the issues Caden Pinnock had securing the football. There's another marker down on a short run.
And it would have seemed early on in this game. Get the call.
The defense had 12 players in formation. By rule, that's a foul for illegal substitution. Defense, 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. 2nd down.
And they had some confusion there in their substitution. We talked about those penalties, those interceptions, those turnovers by Pinnock down the stretch. He threw one early in the end zone. Could have been very easy for a young quarterback there to kind of start the spiral. He shook that off, and it's just played outstanding since.
Pinnock out of the pocket and to the sideline for a 1st down. Caden Pinnock has been UC Davis's 2nd best rusher in this game, closing in on 100 yards on the ground. He's got 99 right now. The Jerry Rice Award runner-up, Braden Atkinson of Mercer, won the award that's given to the FCS Freshman of the Year. And Mercer was blanked earlier today at home, 47-0 against the Coyotes of South Dakota. They are the lone Dakota team still standing. South Dakota State lost at Montana. North Dakota State lost at home. And a timeout, UC Davis.
For you.
Tim Plow, you see that Shredville cap he wears. He says Shredville, there's not one simple definition for it. It's an exciting brand of football, high-powered offense, a joy of playing together. See that joy word on his ball cap there. And, well, it's the San Diego slang where Tim Plow grew up, paired with all the history he's had with this program, from being a quarterback with UC Davis in the early 2000s to being Dan Hawkins' play caller, the ascension of this program in the late 2010s. Had a stint at Boise State as the offensive coordinator, at Cal as the tight ends coach. But when Dan Hawkins decided to retire at the end of the 2023 season. Tim Plow is the obvious choice to come back to his alma mater and keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, I had a chance to call a Davis game last year, very first game of the year against Cal. He called this his dream job. And we see here the replay. Would he get to the line? It's tough to tell there with the Davis where his foot is. Okay, he passed it.
Yeah, I think he got it.
We'll get a better look here. But it's been a bumpy ride tonight with replays. So, but yeah, it looks like he was able to get that. Looks like that would have been a worthwhile challenge there for Plow. But with, you know, the coaching carousel having been what it was is what it is this offseason. Obviously, he was a name that has come up in spots, but I feel like he's got unfinished business. Like, he wants to continue to elevate this program.
After further review, the ruling on the field of the runner being down short of the line to gain is upheld. UC Davis will be charged a timeout, and they have no more challenges remaining for the game.
Thought it was a worthwhile challenge. We'll keep swinging.
Why not? When you're up 20, kind of felt like house
close
money there.
Yeah, tough call. It was close to see why he called it. But yeah, I think you mentioned not only is he the head coach here, he's an alum. This program means a lot to him. He's done a great job. And
he has found joy here at Davis, as it says on the side of his cap.
And I had a chance, again, like I said earlier last night, to sit in on their team meeting where he shows a fight on Friday nights, a condensed fight that has kind of a theme to it. Last night they showed the UFC 300 for the BMF belt, and he's able to draw some. But before that even started, he talked about the joy. He told his team, share the joy. They all got up, the entire auditorium, and they all went and shook each other's hand and hugged each other. It was about a 5 to 10 minute process, but he's really kind of cultivating a family atmosphere here.
Jordan Fisher on 3rd and short. Busts it to the outside. Makes a cut. And down at the 40. Jordan Fisher, his big night continues. Well over 100 rushing yards, and he has 27 on that carry.
Well, this will bring the joy, won't it, Chris? There you go. Great job blocking. See for him getting upfield, and he runs tough for a little runner, but he is also quite agile. Again, wearing that 20 for Barry Sanders. You love to see when the younger players are aware of some of the past greats.
The 6th time he's gone over 100 rushing yards in the game this season. Honorable mention All Big Sky, but the conference was loaded in elite talent at running back. Montana's tailback Eli Gilman was the Big Sky Offensive Player of the Year. And Tim Plow told us he turned down multiple FBS offers last season, turned down a couple more this year. And for UC Davis, the short-term plan is to remain an FCS program and stay in the Big Sky, but all of their other sports are moving from the Big West to the Mountain West next summer. And there is a long-term plan here at Davis to go FBS. They're just not ready yet.
Yeah, they're start making some expansions here to the press box, the stadium, and they're really excited for this opportunity. You walk through their facilities, and you've done some FCS games. I've done some FCS games. I mean, this is one of the nicer setups that you'll see, and they really feel like they're just kind of getting started as well.
Oh, so is their young redshirt freshman quarterback, Caden Pinnock, who was able to bounce back from an early turnover and dominate down the stretch of this game.
Yeah, he has shown a lot of poise early on. Like I mentioned, he could have really kind of spiraled, especially off of some of the turnovers down the stretch this season. That was a score right before the half that kind of helped close the gap. Then in his second half, it's just been a difference maker there, finding his talented tight end, Ian Simmons, taking it downfield to number 8, Samuel Batu. And what he's been able to also do tonight, Pinnock with his legs.
Pinnock to the end zone. Jones, touchdown! There is your dagger on the 2nd touchdown tonight for Zach Jones.
Talked about it being a two-sport athlete. Coach had said at one point he was in the office late at night. We see this protection there. Pinnock deep, outstanding job going up. Defender was there, the concentration from Jones to bring it in, but he said he was in the office late one night on a Monday night, Coach Blau, and said he heard somebody outside, kind of a constant ringing. He got up and looked out his window, and it was Pinnock throwing the ball against the net like at 10 o'clock on a Monday night after baseball practice, and he said to himself, you know what, we got a pretty good one here when he's taking that type of time on his own to get the work in.
UC Davis flirting with a 50-burger against one of the nation's top defenses at this level. And if you were wondering if the playoff lights would be too bright, maybe the stage would be too big for the redshirt freshman Caden Pinnock, he's responded with 5 touchdown tosses tonight.
And again, what he has done tonight with his mobility, the ability to escape pressure, the decisiveness when he's needed to run, to get upfield. And again, just the ability to shake off a mistake early on, an opportunity to score that resulted in an interception when he had come into tonight with responsible for 9 turnovers over their final 4 games. Just let that roll off his back and just play outstanding football for really 3.5 quarters since.
And for UC Davis, after trailing 20-11 in the second quarter, they have poured it on against the CAA champion Rhode Island. Brendan Barrow on the kick return and past the 25 to the 27. So you look ahead, looks like Corey the Rocket Dog has another game on her schedule. Illinois State will come west for a second straight FCS playoffs. UC Davis trying to get to the quarterfinal round for the 3rd time in program history. Got there last year, lost in Vermillion against South Dakota. 2018 lost up on the red turf in Cheney against conference rival Eastern Washington. This will be their first ever quarterfinal game at home.
Yeah, what a monumental change from thinking you're going to go to maybe one of the toughest places to play in all of college football, the Fargo Dome, to now hosting.
Been a tough second half for this Rhode Island offense. Abora Quarteng has gotten a bunch of targets down the stretch and cannot spin his way out of a gang tackle across the 30.
I will say this, if we knew what they were capable of on offense. If this defense continues to play the way it has tonight throughout the rest of the playoffs, you could argue that even as the 8th seed and Tarleton State is still alive on this side of the bracket, though, that Davis could be the team to beat on this side of the bracket.
Farrell on second down, trying to get it to Quarteng, who came back to the football but couldn't keep it off the turf. It's ruled incomplete. Big Sky will be well represented. Only got 3 teams in, but all 3 will be in the final 8. With the 2 Montana programs from the Treasure State, the number 2 and 3 overall seeds, and here number 8 UC Davis. With 36 unanswered points on their home turf to take control of this game against Rhode Island down the stretch. On 3rd down, Quarteng, another catch, but out of bounds shy of the line to gain. And 2 yards short. The CAA will still be represented in these playoffs. Villanova upset the number 5 overall seed, Patriot League champ, previously unbeaten Lehigh. And the Wildcats will have the tough task of trying to win on the road again, the number 12 overall seed. 4th down. It's Littleton picking up the first down for Rhode. I haven't seen a ton of Antoine Littleton in the second half because UC Davis has taken him out of the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, not since he really ripped off that big touchdown run. Looked like he was kind of getting rolling, and it's been quiet since then. This defense for Davis has really just been flying all over the place, doing a great job of creating pressure.
They'll dump it off to Littleton. So tough to bring down. And it takes us to the 2-minute timeout.
About yours.
We are right on the cusp of the FCS quarterfinal round. One half of the bracket emphatically filled by the Redbirds of Illinois State. The upset of the decade in FCS football, probably.
Especially when you think about the circumstances. They were down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. North Dakota State had scored like 3 minutes into the game.
North Dakota State in the first half had an offensive touchdown, a defensive touchdown, and a special teams touchdown. At that point, it looked like the Bison were comfortably going to advance and defend home turf. Big collision in the secondary. Connor Feiner, who's had a tough night, lost a fumble earlier, absolutely belted. What a season it's been for Connor Feiner, transfer from Kennesaw State, who was an offensive tackle in Kennesaw's triple option offense early in his college career. First team all CAA, a touchdown last week. I hope he's okay. Yeah, with Rhode Island's season on the verge of ending. But he has meant so much to this team's success. And look, Rhode Island still has a chance to keep building for the future. Devin Farrell has another year of eligibility left. You never can make assumptions about what a roster could look like this far out ahead of next season. But for a team that shared the CAA title last year, won it outright for the first time in program history this season, haven't been able to get past the second round on the road, but still certainly a program trending in the right direction, and a chance to really put themselves on the national map if they can go out and do this again next year in their conference.
Oh, what Jim Fleming has done, you talked about a little bit earlier. I mean, 15 wins in his first 6 seasons, 22 in the last 2. I mean, the way that not only he turned around, but really probably saved, as you mentioned, a football program at Rhode Island.
Third down, Farrell zipping middle again. Greg Gaines has it down to the 25-yard line of UC Davis. Gaines nearing 1,000 yards himself tonight as his 5th catch, and that will give him over 1,000 receiving yards on the season. He and Marquise Buchanan north of 1,000 receiving yards in this Rhode Island pass-heavy offense. 5th best passing offense in the FCS. Just couldn't get anything cooking in this second half. That's nearly intercepted. Jamal Mensah, 6th-year senior, was the target. And Trey Carr, a junior corner for UC Davis, almost had another Aggie takeaway.
What's your feel on that side of the bracket? Tarleton State or Davis the team to beat?
I like Tarleton. Tarleton got that early week 1 win at Army. Lost once in UAC play to Abilene Christian, whom they shared the regular season title with. They looked really sharp today at home against North Dakota.
Could be well-rounded. Come a long way since a young whippersnapper named Craig Harper was a GA there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You spent some time down there in Stephenville, huh?
Yeah, back in 1999, it was a GA there, D2. For Craig Wiederquist, and spent a couple of months with current head coach Todd Wood, who's done a great job of building that program, transitioning it from D2 to FCS. And I was a Texan for a short bit.
Well, Tarleton representing the UAC after Abilene Christian was knocked out by Stephen F. Austin, the Southland champ, earlier today. And the CAA will try and go get another big road win, with Villanova heading down to the Lone Star State to tangle with Tarleton in the quarterfinal next weekend. UC Davis poised to host Illinois State here in the quarterfinal next week. Long throw, Kortang keeps his feet, and he's tackled inside the 5, a 22-yard catch, and a chance at some late points here for Rhode Island. Rhode Island, no points since the second quarter of this game. 36 unanswered for UC Davis. Rams have taken it to the doorstep here in the final moments of this FCS second round game. Farrell scans and delivers a late 4th quarter touchdown. Omari Walker, his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. Rhode Island, first ever trip out to California, 10 miles short of a 3,000-mile trek from Kingston to Davis. Longest domestic trip the program has ever made. Did play a couple overseas games many a decades ago. There's an injured Aggie down after the touchdown catch. That's Tom Sakinski. And if you have Sack in your last name, you were meant to play on the defensive line. From nearby Rockland. Sakinski, a reserve, seeing some time late in this game with a lopsided score. And his teammates rallying around him right now as he is finally able to get up. And a great sign to see him walk back to the home sideline on his own power. So Rhode gets a late tutty here, but too little too late for the Rams, who just sputtered coming out of halftime.
Yeah, just what we saw there in that second quarter, the offensive explosion, it just seemed like we were going to kind of be in for a blow for blow type game where these two teams were going to keep trading, and they came out and that Davis defense was operating at a different level.
Rhode Island will go for 2. Empty set, the screen, it's Feiner, who was injured earlier on the possession, and he can't hold on to the football. The 2-point try fails. And with a minute 11 left to play, UC Davis up big at home. They can taste a quarterfinal trip for a 2nd straight season, 3rd time in program history, all in the last decade. A program that moved up from Division II in the mid-2000s when Tim Plow was a quarterback, and he has taken them to new heights as the Aggies head coach.
And talking with him yesterday, They wanted this opportunity to be able to learn from the mistakes they made last year. Next week for UC Davis is final week. And they said they're kind of trying to navigate the two last year. Turned out to be kind of tricky. So not only now do they have some experience under their belt and how to handle that week, they get to do so at home.
Said he and his staff spent the entirety of the morning watching Illinois State, North Dakota State. And weren't looking past Rhode Island by any means, but
nothing wrong with watching a little football in the morning.
I mean, how could you? 7 o'clock Pacific time kick. What are you going to do? Sit around all day and stare at a wall?
Yeah.
A lot of great football on today. We look forward to the college football playoff selection show tomorrow. A lot of fan bases on the edge of their seat. I don't anticipate a whole lot of sleep tonight for those bubble teams that aren't sure if they're going to get in or not.
Only thing I can guarantee about tomorrow is somebody will be upset.
That's how it goes. Onside kick. Big bounce. Batu on the hands team. Samuel Batu on a night where he's caught 4 passes for 121 yards and a touchdown. Making turf angels out there. Tim Plow, the mayor of Shredville, about to take his Aggies to the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs for a second straight season, and this time, no plane ride necessary.
No, he ended last night's meeting saying, let's go shred these boys tomorrow. And that's exactly what they did. Lived up to the Shredville moniker, followed their coach's orders, got it done, and thanks to the improbable of Illinois State throwing 5 interceptions, falling behind 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, upsetting the Bison and gifting UC Davis an opportunity to host next week.
And a terrific campaign comes to an end for Rhode Island. Jim Fleming taking them to the second round of the postseason for a second straight year, but UC Davis ultimately too much in the second half. The backup quarterback Grant Harper in the game kneels to the turf, and UC Davis surges in the second half, and off they go to the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs for a second straight year. Shredville will host the quarterfinal round of the FCS championship next week. Illinois State and the 8 seed UC Davis behind 5 touchdown throws from the redshirt freshman Caden Pinnock. And the Big Sky will be well represented in the final 8 here in the FCS postseason.
3 to get in, 3 alive from the Big Sky.
And you know, you brave the cold for 4 or 5 hours. These students are going to celebrate with the Aggies, and it's a different type of celebration knowing that you get to stay home and you don't have to go to Fargo next weekend.
Very different. Paints a very different picture in terms of your title hopes.
Well, this program very clearly on the rise in FCS football. All 3 of their quarterfinal appearances in the last 7 years.
And it's such a different landscape this year without North Dakota State and South Dakota State, who really loomed large in terms of dominating the playoffs. There's going to be some new faces.
Now the CAA will still be represented. The 12th seed Villanova, big upset earlier today. They'll head down to Tarleton State in Texas. And Illinois State will visit number 8 UC Davis a week from now on ESPN Plus right here in Northern California. Shredville, as the Aggie head coach Tim Plow likes to call it. We've got him mic'd up on the field as the students pour out. Hey, when you were a quarterback here in the mid-2000s, could you have ever dreamt of where this program is now and where they're heading?
I did dream about it. You know, that's why this job is so important to me, and why it means so much, and why my family decided to come here, because we dreamt this for a long time. This is a dream situation for us to coach this team and to be here. And what a great night to have ESPN and showing what this great campus is about. So I'm really proud of this.
Coach, your quarterback, Caden Pinnock, he struggled with some interceptions down the stretch. He threw one early that took away his potential scoring opportunity. He bounced back. What did you say to him? Assess your quarterback's performance the rest of the way after that.
Yeah, I think every single game is a learning experience for Caden, you know, and in developing quarterbacks as well as we've done it over the years, it's just about learning every single game. So every single rep is an opportunity for him to get better, and that's a teachable moment for him, right? And so it's not about, you know, getting in his face when stuff like that happens. It's just teaching him so that he can be better, and when he plays his best, that's when we have a chance to win a lot of games.
Not only does your season keep going, but you get another one at home with that shocking decision earlier in Fargo today. I know you saw Illinois State in the postseason last year. So much turnover year to year in college football when you talk about roster continuity, but I know you watched most of that game earlier today. What are your thoughts on the matchup with the Redbirds coming out west for a second straight playoffs?
Well, we're definitely thankful to be playing at home. You know, this quarterfinal week's kind of been our bugaboo because it's finals week here at Davis, and we know this is one of the best academic institutions in the world. So finals week's tough. So just to be home is a big deal for our guys. So we're not taking finals in the hotel room like we were last year, but Illinois State's a great team. I know everyone's probably excited that, hey, North Dakota State's out, but you know what's worse than North Dakota State is probably the team that beat North Dakota State. So we know Illinois State's a great program, and that's going to be a great game next week, and hopefully we have a great turnout again.
Coach, we know what to expect from your offense. The way your defense played tonight, it really looked like a different unit from what we had seen at times during the stretch. Just talk about the pressure they were able to get, the way they were swarm and tackle tonight.
Yeah, you know, our keys to victory really defensively was we had to get pressure on that quarterback. And, you know, early on in the game, we weren't getting home. I thought in the second half, Matt Coombs and the staff did a great job adjusting, and the defensive line was getting pressure on the quarterback. And when we do that, we got a chance to force some turnovers. And what a great statement by the defense, really the first group there to hold them to no points in the second half. So that's great coaching, that's great adjustments, and Coach Coombs and those guys did a great job.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way, and congratulations on reaching the quarterfinal round for a second straight year.
Hey, we're thankful for all that. Hope everybody found joy in Shredville tonight. We'll see you next week.
Those are the instructions from the mayor of Shredville himself, Tim Plow, the former UC Davis quarterback, now taking his alma mater to the quarterfinal round of the FCS playoffs for a second straight year. Dominant second half turned in by Caden Pinnock, the Big Sky Freshman of the Year quarterback, and UC Davis, as the Aggies keep their postseason run pushing and will welcome in Illinois State a week from tonight. Once again, our final score, UC Davis 47, Rhode Island 26. Special thanks to our director, Paul Drushniak, producer, Aaron Snyder-Storin. For Craig Hobbert, I'm Chris Sylvester saying so long from Davis, California, where the Aggies are marching on in the